Hi guys, welcome to tonight's Q&A for men over 40. So tonight is about giving you guys as much help as we can based on your biggest sticking points with women. So whatever it may be for you, don't be shy. Go ahead and ask any questions you might have in the comment section and we'll give you some really valuable help with dating women straight away. So while we're waiting for a few of those to come through, I might just start with a few of my top points for what men need to do to improve with women. Now, why should you believe me? Well, for anyone new here, I'm Tess. I'm the head female coach at Social Coach. And since 2006, we've sent our team of model female coaches on dates with our clients, first on Zoom, then in real life. We give them brutally honest feedback from the female perspective on what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and exactly what you need to do step by step to improve your success with women dramatically. We'll share a bunch of proof of this a little bit later on. And I'll also explain to you how I go on Zoom dates with 3 or 4 new guys each week and give them feedback about exactly what they need to do to improve with women for just $1. Just $1. So we'll talk about that a little bit later today. Let's get stuck right in though. My absolute number one thing, actually, let's start with my number 3 and we'll work up to number 1. So my number 3 thing that you need to do to improve with women is read her signals. So this, through my experience as a dating coach, is something that so many guys struggle with. And when they start to be able to pick up on them, they have all of these aha moments where they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I never realized this before. But there are so many signals that women put out there that tell you guys she wants to be approached, she wants to, or even, when you're on a date as well, signals that she's sending to show you that she's really enjoying herself, or on the other hand, maybe not enjoying herself so much if you're pushing beyond her boundaries, that sort of thing. So being attuned to and receptive to her signals, her body language, is super, super important. And yeah, as I said, so many missed opportunities if you're not able to do this, but also a lot of reassurance as well that you are doing the right thing, or potentially maybe not doing the right thing when you're on a date. Now, if you guys have any questions about reading signals, feel free to put them in the chat. Or as I said, any questions at all about anything you'd like help with, some of your biggest sticking points with women, chuck them in the comments for us, and we'll be looking at those as we go tonight to help you. Hey guys, I can see a couple of comments already coming through, a couple of regulars. Nice to see you guys back here. So yeah, let's talk about reading signals a little bit more. So when you walk into a venue and just say an upmarket bar where single ladies might be, how do you know who wants to be approached? Right? You scan the room. How do you know who's open to being spoken to, or who wants you to actually come and approach? There's a lot to this. I've shared a few of these things in the past, but yeah, guys, if you have any comments as well on this, chuck them in the chat for me. What do you think are some signals that you pick up on women who actually want to be approached? Now, some of the obvious ones are, women who are giggling really loudly, tossing their hair and looking over their shoulder, and double taking at you, potentially framing their face. What's another one? Placing themselves in a position where they're in your line of view constantly. So you're constantly seeing them just pop up in your line of view. And basically these are all just ways of trying to gain attention, right? So that, as opposed to women who are potentially, two women who might be out on a night out and they're just quite closed and they don't really want to speak to men at all. They might be just catching up and wanting to only spend time with one another, in which case you might see a lot more closed body language where they're just really intimately connecting with each other, just a strong eye contact between them, closed off to the rest of the venue, so facing one another rather than being open to the venue and looking around constantly. Like flipping their hair and stuff like this. Sorry, not flipping their hair. So, once you actually start to look for these, they should start to become really, really obvious to you. Especially in an implied social setting, like a bar, like I described. Women might not be giving off these same signals as much day to day in less implied social settings, at supermarkets, etc. It would be harder to pick up on this stuff unless there's some good eye contact and some double takes, still the hair flipping stuff. But women, that might be just not as obvious and not as common as well. So James is going to be joining me shortly, and we'll be going through a couple of my other top things to improve with women straight away. Let me just have a look if there are any questions coming through. Let's have a look.
I'm just trying to find the right button. Hey guys, how you doing? Let me just Tess did a great job of that. Let me start with an apology. I promised a discussion about red pill and feminism that I think would have been super useful and effective, but you probably, what I was going to say, I wanted to do a really balanced thing, because you've had whatever feminism, and people have different issues and points on that. Then you've had this sort of reactionary group of red pill, MGTOW, and everything else. Now, I think there's some good points in the red pill stuff, but I think a lot of it's quite naive about women and women's psychology and women's games and manipulation. So I'll do a little bit on that tonight, but I'd love to get your questions throughout tonight on what you think about red pill stuff you've learned from red pill, anything like that. I'd love to help you out. But in terms of me sort of, bagging the extremes of both camps, I just don't think I can possibly do that. I'm sorry, it wasn't misleading or deceptive conduct in any way. I just realized this 2 or 3 hours ago. In the comments, if anyone's sort of a bit disappointed about this or has any comments, just let me know. But what we're going to do today is we're going to answer your questions. I might start by doing a bit about the red pill to sort of do justice to the people who came along. Someone's saying he was wondering what red pill was. It's not as big a thing with everyone. We're not that. I mean, I've got a bunch of female dating coaches. I'm not saying they're all whatever, manipulative, horrible, disgusting cows or anything like that by any stretch. You do get some women who aren't the best. If anyone's wants a bit of a red pill overview, just let me know. I'll just be guided by the comments. So Tess, just run me through. It was reading signals. It was female psychology. What was number 2?
We didn't get to number 2. I was blabbering on a little bit about number 3. Let's move on to my number 2. Number 2 is listen, and I've put this in all caps because it is so important. And this is basically the ultimate conversation skill, to be able to listen. So many guys don't have it. Being able to listen effectively and efficiently means that you're able to gather all of the information that she's giving you, and it makes the conversation so much easier, because you can then, once you've gathered all that information, you can then consciously decide which one's going to be, which topic out of that is going to be the best to transition to, what's going to be the most valuable thing to talk about in this moment. And rather than just sort of listening to one thing and that being the only thing you can choose from, or not listening to anything and then just asking random questions that don't relate to anything that she's given you. So women will often hint at what they want to talk about. It's just about you guys being able to listen and pick up on a few other nonverbal cues to figure out what she actually wants to talk about. Once you get her talking about something she wants to talk about, it's easy. She's loving the conversation. So she'll just keep talking and talking and talking, and she'll think, oh, this is great. So she's invested, basically. So listening is the basis for all of that. So improve your listening skills, guys. If anyone has any questions about that as well, feel free to chuck that in the comments. And then, should I talk about my number one as well, James?
I might just touch on listening. I mean, reading signals. I mean, what Tess is identifying, they're all superpowers. If you can actually see the girls who are interested in you, and you only approach them, or you mainly approach them, I mean, the game is just 100 times easier. 100 times easier. Because all you need to do is dress well and read signals, and suddenly you've beaten 1,000 other guys in seconds. It really is that simple. And listening, that's one of beautiful women's biggest complaints. Guys are so keen to try to attract them, or to get in their pants, or they're scared and nervous around them, and they just don't listen. And women, really beautiful women, find that no one really listens to them because women are sort of nervous around them or trying to manipulate them. So yeah, they're in a situation where no one's ever really listened to them. So if you can be the first guy who can just sort of shut his mind out and focus, almost meditate on what she's saying, it's a complete and utter game changer. It's probably one of the skills I had that I think helped me get results much quicker than anyone would have really expected from essentially a virgin to dating a sort of fly around model in 18 months. But the fact I had listening skills at such a good level, and reading signals to some extent, really helped me a lot. Tess, let's do your number one.
Okay, my absolute number one is understand female psychology. Now, this is quite complex, but there's some basic stuff that basically, all women find attractive in men. It comes down to basically evolutionary psychology. And when you have an understanding of this, we can teach you conversation, approach skills, body language, reading signals, date plan, all of this stuff. We can teach you all of these skills, but when you have an understanding of why these things work, understanding female psychology, it all makes sense, right? Everything clicks into place. Why does she respond well when I ask these questions? Why does she respond well when I have this body posture and body language? Why does she respond well when I do this on a date? Or when I touch her like this? So it all comes down to an understanding of female psychology. Interestingly enough, I find that guys who have lots of sisters or lots of female friends find this a lot easier. It's often the guys who don't have any sisters or work in very male-dominated professions that struggle a bit with this stuff. So don't really have that understanding of how women think, how to communicate with them, and then all of the other stuff that flows on from that, as I described.
Yeah, I can't overemphasize that as much. When we were initially asked this question, I came up with technical stuff like, touch, eye contact, body language, conversation, listening, and they're all very true. You've got to be good at them. But understanding how men and women are different, good ways, bad ways, how they're different, what they want, how they're different and how they mate. Once you can sort of understand how they're emotional they are, and how weak and fragile they are compared to men emotionally, most of them, sort of emotionally weak and fragile men. Having said that, they give birth to kids. So, I mean, that's quite a thing they go through that we don't.
I don't know if I'd say emotionally. Sorry, James. I'm interrupting.
Contradict, please. That's what you're here for.
Yeah, I wouldn't say not necessarily emotionally weak, but I think we just the way we think is more emotional. Is yeah. So the way we think about the world is more relationship based and emotions based, rather than facts and data based. But we can be really emotionally strong, absolutely. It's just yeah, I think we are more attuned to feelings in the way we perceive the world.
Yeah, Tess has raised a good point. My friends group, sort of formative friends group, was guys I played sport with and guys who became very successful in finance. So that was a pretty alpha male. I don't know, I hate using that term because so many people use it differently, but that was a very like, I'm going to do this. That was a very driven lot. But yeah, maybe the average guy is. I mean, I don't like emotionally fragile women, and I probably don't like emotionally fragile men. They're okay to have relationship. You don't want to have a relationship in my okay. The most dangerous person on the planet is someone with a big ego who's very, very insecure and fragile. It's like the stuff they will do if you start poking little holes in the mask they show to the world. They are terrifying, and there's quite a few really hot women like that, and there's quite a few men, some of whom are very, very successful. That's a really bad combination. That one. I hate to ask, am I breaking up, Tess?
No, yeah, it's all good
Oh,
tonight.
that's good. That's good. I don't know how long it'll last. I've got some work to do about this. So yeah, we've got some questions here. We've got a whole bunch of some of the best questions, with some really good questions we've been asked. But yeah, we're here to serve you guys. I think I might let the pretty one go through the questions, but do you want to put some of the questions we've had up?
Yeah. We go. I was wondering what's the best way to get a girl to talk a lot so that a guy can listen to her. Thank you for that question, Nana. That's a great question. So basically, you want to elicit one of her hobbies and interests, or one of her biggest passions in life, or something she's going to really enjoy talking about very quickly. So, if you basically if you elicit her biggest passion in life and you just ask really good questions around that, she's gonna love talking about that. She's gonna have a lot of positive energy to give that conversation, right? That gets her invested in the conversation. You'll get her talking. So yeah, open-ended questions about her biggest interests, passions in life.
Yeah, absolutely. Tessa's intro was really good. What was it? Read signals, listen, and understand female psychology. That's huge. I'm just taking what Tess said. If you read signals, you can tell whether she's bored or whether she's interested. Or, I mean, one of the great examples I use is I go up to an attractive girl and go, "Oh, so what do you got planned for the weekend, Tess?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to do a yoga class. I'm going to have dinner with my girlfriends. I'm going to go paragliding." I'm like, which one does she want to talk about? But most guys, we're thick as shit. We don't get that. I've never paraglided. Yoga. What do I talk about? It's like she's got her legs spread wide, naked on your bed, just coming into your house. She wants something. You just got to talk about that. So it's not complicated at all. So yeah, Tess really summed it up well. If I could add, if I was to give Tess a number 4, find out what makes her heart sing. Find out what makes her heart sing and get her talking about that. You guys have come before. I've had more than my share of beautiful women who, probably people can't really understand why they were with me. I've had a group of girls come up to me and goes, "Who are you? What do you do?" Because they're looking at me and they're looking at my girlfriend and just go, is she your girlfriend? It's just that she was in shock. She's in absolute ashen shock that I could have got this girl. So was I, but yeah, it's Tessa's top three. Read signals, listen, and female psychology, and then I'll add a 4 to it. Find out what it makes her heart sing and talk about it. So, and then the other you could add as number 5. If you learn to skillfully touch, which is a bit problematic in the modern era, because unless you're really, really good at it, it could potentially lead you in trouble. That's a great question, man. Thank you for that. Nenad, is that Croatian, Yugoslav? Where's that surname from? Petrovic. So yeah, I may move closer to that part of the world at some point. Do you want to put Latour's question up?
Yes.
If anyone's disappointed, I'm not talking. Serbian is a beautiful country. I loved it. If anyone's disappointed about lack of red pill, just yell out, because I've got. I'll do something about that a bit later, which I think will be really, really useful.
Yeah, and guys, you can ask questions about anything. So if you want, any red pill content, feel free to ask your questions.
Red pill versus feminism, which was what I initially advertised, but then realized that would be sort of a move to the channel, because I'd have been honest about stuff, which is really sad, because my goal was to give a balanced view of how feminism's done that, and then red pills reacted to that, and I don't think this sort of extremism is good for men and women, but we can get into that in more detail, depending on how much love there is for it versus this pretty girl answering your questions along with me. Let's get to the next question. I'll shut the hell up.
Next question. James, do you think women are as bad at understanding male psychology as men are at understanding female psychology?
Get that shit out of here. What a question, man. We've got to somehow... If this was a live seminar, I'd throw a Mars bar at you and say, man, that's a great question. But I can't really do that online. Elon Musk hasn't figured out a way to throw an actual Mars bar at someone online yet, but maybe he will. This is one of the great shocks of my time as a dating coach. Oh, I'm a dating coach. I help some guys with a lot of money, generally intelligent ones. Oh, but tell me about that. I've been shocked. I've been astounded by how badly women understand male psychology, which is pretty bloody simple. It's like women's psychology is like particle physics. Men's psychology like learning your times tables. It's not that hard, ladies. There's really not much to it. You tend to overcomplicate things. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. So yeah, they massively underestimate male psychology. One of the big things is they assume we're a lot more sophisticated than we are. We're basically, the average man is thick as shit when it comes to all the stuff women are masters at, and they think we're better than we are, and then they get all upset with us that, you did this or you did this or you didn't see that or you didn't see that, and we're just like, sex, food, a bit of fun, maybe play some sport, then sex, food, a bit of fun, maybe play some sport. We're not complicated. We don't have these deep thoughts studying every little aspect of every social relationship. We're really straightforward. We're really straightforward. If I could give you an example from a swimsuit model who's on my channel and's got 100,000 Instagram followers or something. She came to a boot camp, and she had these high-heeled shoes that were beautiful. She dressed very, very well for an Australian girl. She was Croatian. And yeah, she had this tiny, tiny little stain on her shoe. It was a fraction the size of like a 5-cent piece in Australia, probably a penny in America. It was tiny. It was tiny. It was tiny. And she's like, oh my God, I've just hated myself the whole time. I accidentally picked up my old pair of whatever the shoes are called and took them to boot camp, and I was too far from home to get the new ones. I thought people are looking at me, judging me and shit. Meanwhile, stuck up nicely with a push-up bra, sensational hip to waist ratio, and some of the some of the better legs I've seen in Australia, and a pretty nice face. What? You could be wearing tennis shoes or boots like Gene Simmons and Kiss used to wear. We just saw this stuff, honey. No one saw the little stain on your shoe. Whereas a guy, if I was out talking to attractive girls and I had a little stain there, this guy's homeless. No, he just spilt some olive oil on his shirt and he hasn't been able to get it out. He probably hasn't even noticed. He's a dude. I mean, chill out, woman. There's a little stain on my stuff. So that's a off the top of my head example of how men and women are very, 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 very different. I mean, okay. Just if anyone, as the Americans go, by show of hands, who would not sleep with that 26-year-old Aussie swimsuit model because she had this tiny little stain on her shoe? Anyone? Who thinks it would make absolutely no difference whatsoever to them? Put your hand up. Okay, if I could see the hands, I know where everyone's voting. There might be some gay guys going, "Oh no, I could never do that. That's horrid. How could you have a little stain there?" But I don't know. There's not many of us. If you've got any more follow-up detail about women understanding male psychology, that is a truly great question. I wasn't exaggerating. If anyone wants to move on to that, thank you, Samson. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be stressing out about a woman with a little stain on her shoe. No, I'm not sleeping with you. Oh, actually, one time I was with some friends. One of them I played basketball with. One of them was a friend of his from church, for all reasons. And this, swimsuit model-like girl who was 5'11" walks past, and she had these pants and she wasn't wearing a belt. And I'm just like, and he said, "Oh, that's just horrible. How could she leave the house doing that?" So I don't know. Maybe there are some guys, but I think he might have changed teams a little bit later on. Anyway, back to Tess.
Cool. So let's see. Got a couple of other questions here as well. And guys, keep them coming. And whatever it is for you, if you've got a date coming up and you need some specific help around something that's relating to your date or just your biggest sticking points with women, something you've always wondered, don't be shy. Chuck it in the comments. We're going to give you guys as much help as we can. And let's have a look here. Where are we up to, James?
Sorry.
It's all right.
Thank you for the comments. So I'm wondering what red pill was. I was wondering the best way to talk to some good questions, guys. Ripper from sure.
This one from Akshay, welcome again. I have a very low attention span. I'm trying more and more to learn to listen and be present in the moment. I've just started improv classes. Is there anything else that we can do to improve listening? Sure. If you have a problem with your attention span and you're easily distracted, that sort of thing, I would say that you probably need to do some something that's going to help with that, because improv class is great. That's more about being creative on the spot and giving energy to things, whereas actually paying attention to what someone's talking about. And part of that is also there's reading signals later on top of that. It's about just training yourself to be present. Now, oftentimes it's really difficult when you're nervous and your mind's racing and you're thinking, "Oh, is this okay? Am I stuffing up?" Blah blah blah. And it's all that negative mental chat that's going on. Then you can't listen because you're in your own head. So obviously, when you're able to build your confidence with approaching and conversing with women, it helps, because then you don't have to deal with that head noise. But also, good eye contact as well. Actually, just giving your energy to the woman while she's speaking, and slowing down. How else do I? How can you improve by just being really present? I think that I think it comes down to just being calm and being engaging with her. So I think meditation can help with that a lot as well. Yeah, what are some of your suggestions, James?
It's tough. It's really tough, and especially with social media, the mountains of chemicals that we're inundated with the whole time. I used to work in finance, and I was a financial analyst. So I basically sat in a spreadsheet and studied stuff and went to meetings and heard people talk about their companies and their strategies and stuff. And then I realized in the place I was never going to make that much money as a financial analyst. And I was very, very ambitious because I grew up poor. So I swapped into sales, and I had no sales training. I had sales experience at university, but yeah, selling Nike shoes and Air Jordans is a bit different from selling financial services to people much older than me. So I realized, sort of looking at people who are very good at it, the number one skill was listening. So basically I developed a system which you can use yourself, but I can't really teach you properly, because basically I'd be talking and they'd be explaining their goals and their dreams and how they're worried about their son's new girlfriend or new fiance that she was only after his money or something. And what I would do is I would interrupt, and I'd go, "Oh, that's okay. Well, we can put it in trusts or funds," or they're worried they're going to need to get enough return to maintain their very lavish lifestyle. We're like, "That's okay. Our funds have done this, and if you invest it in this way, we can bring down the tax. That should be very, very easy." And I always have a smart ass answer. Whereas I realized later what I should do is just shut the F up and let them talk and talk and talk and take a bunch of notes. And then when it came to putting this piece of paper in front of them, where I would make, a big chunk of money up front, then a really big chunk of money ongoing, just for doing a good job of managing it and growing it, that's when I become the smart ass and solve all their problems. So how do I get to that situation? So I came up with this really crude method, and it's just like I'm sitting, we'll go back to a dating example because that's what you guys are here for. I'm sitting on a date, and I'm asking Tess, so tell me about paragliding. She's like, "Oh, it's great." And I'm like, "Oh, I've never paraglidden, but I've hang glidden a bunch of times. I actually went to a favela with my teacher in Brazil and blah, blah, blah." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I really enjoy when I'm up in the air." And then I'm like, "Yeah, it must be great. I've skydived and I've bungee jumped a bunch of times. I started trying to do it to train." And we're just constantly interrupting, telling her how wonderful we are. So yeah, so what I would do in the situation is I'd just scream at myself inside my head, "Shut the F up, Jamie. Shut the F up." Every time this great thought came into my head I wanted to share, I'd just scream inside my head, "Shut the F up." We've actually had guys in our boot camps doing this exercise. They go, "Shut the fuck up, John," in front of the girl, which it's happened more than once and always produces a good laugh. So that's my magical, crude, how to listen better technique. But again, it's like meditation. You just get back to the girl, get back to what she's thinking, get back to what she's feeling. And if you want to be a really advanced listener, don't just listen to the words she's saying, listen to her feelings, feel her feelings. Again, this is why meditation is so important. Yeah, I'm going on about this, but it's such an important point. If you sit and watch two really close girlfriends catch up in a cafe, sometimes with the body language and the touching, I've been with bisexual girls going, "Those two girls into the licky stuff?" Probably shouldn't say. I've got little cute names for all the different things. And she's like, "No, not at all." I'm like, "But look at the way they're sitting. They're basically on top of each other, touching so many points." And then the other thing is when women are having a conversation with each other, they're like, "Oh, really? Oh, he's such an asshole. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, here, give me a hug, girlfriend. I'm so sorry about that." They're so emotive and expressive. And I'm not asking you to go too far, but yeah, just try to listen very well to their feelings, and then whatever. Anyway, next question. I think what I gave you then, I think, was insanely valuable, because once you get listening knocked over, it's almost a downhill, especially if you've got good coaching. Next question.
From Nenad. would it be creepy to make a girl's heart sing, then try to step it up a notch? Now, what I'm assuming you mean by that, by step it up a notch,
Get
is
into
like
her pants, I think he's referring to.
yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Well, yes, if she's not ready. No, it's not creepy if she wants that. So this is a complicated question. Obviously, I think trying to escalate really quickly as soon as you've gotten her to talk about something that makes her heart sing is not going to work well if you do that too quickly. So, you know, women want to be seen. They want you. They want to know that you actually have taken the time to get to know them beyond their surface level. You know, so that you've shown, hey, we actually have something in common, and I'm interested in you as a person, not just the way you look and your body. So if you were to ask her 2 questions and then try to escalate things before you've established that level of trust, she's going to think, oh, this guy, yeah, it's creepy, it's sleazy, because she knows that you haven't, you don't actually value me because you haven't given it enough time for that to develop. All you see is the face and the body. Just that's the biggest thing. Which is also why we say don't just compliment her on her exterior. If you want to give a compliment to a woman, it should be about, elicit a unique personality trait or skill or something that people don't just see every day, and compliment her on that. And that's what, and then the message she gets is, wow, this guy really appreciates me and sees something about me that's special beyond how I look.
Thanks, Tess. I might be interpreting the question a little bit differently, which is good. Would it be creepy to make a girl's heart sing, then step it up a notch? I think that's a nice way of saying get into her pants. Would it be creepy to make a girl's heart sing and then try to step it up a notch? No, that's what my whole boot camp's about. We spend 45 hours teaching you that. You try to make her, you try to approach her, you try to make her heart sing, then you try to get her into her pants. Now, it could be because you want her to be the mother of your children. It could be because you're young and horny and you want to get a bit. But that's my entire boot camp. Actually, I could sum it up. Breakthrough Boot Camp 3.0. Make a girl's heart sing and get into her pants. That could be my new marketing slogan. Thank you, Nana. You just give me a great idea. Breakthrough Boot Camp 3.0. Make a girl's heart sing and get into her pants. Tess, can you say that? It will work better than me.
Breakthrough Boot Camp 3.0. Make a girl's heart sing and then get into her pants.
And then make her your loving girlfriend. No, actually, wait. We're going to work on this. Breakthrough Boot Camp 3.0. I had something good there. Okay, Breakthrough Boot Camp 3.0, making a beautiful, amazing girl's heart sing and get into her pants and make her your beautiful, loving, loyal, sweet, intelligent, beautiful, sensual girlfriend. That's the new Breakthrough Boot Camp tagline. If anyone wants to get these skills, book a date with Tess. We'll tell you about that in a second. We should say you'll get a book a date with Tess tomorrow. We'll get to that in a second. Great question.
Great question. Obviously, we'll teach you how to do that in a way that it's going to be not creepy. So I was talking about how it might be creepy, how you might come across as creepy if you're trying to do that too quickly. And then what we teach you is how to do it and not be creepy.
Tess, genius. Breakthrough Boot Camp 3.0. Make a girl's heart sing and get into her pants without being creepy. Yes. We've nailed this further. This is like a marketing brainstorming exercise. Hopefully no one's turned off. But yeah, that's 40. We give you 45 hours of that and then a whole bunch of practice and lead up on Zoom. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, so Peter, Peter says, if your trainer is that judgmental of her appearance regarding the stain on her shoes, does that mean women are as judgmental regarding our appearance? Obviously, yeah. Okay, I think everyone is judgmental based on appearance. As much as you'd like to deny that, within the first few seconds of meeting someone, you've probably made some judgments on them based on what they're wearing, how they present themselves, etc., man or woman. Now, women, the example that James gave about the trainer, obviously she's she's in a role where she wants to present herself in a certain way, and the stain on the shoe was taking away from how she wanted to present herself. Women are judgmental about men's appearances. I think, for a tiny little stain, yeah, she might not actually thinks you're homeless. That might have been a little bit of an exaggeration, but yes, if you are wearing something that's a red flag to us, we're going to have a judgment, conscious or not, about what that means. So if you think about that, basically, yes, you should be trying to present yourself in a way that makes you attractive to women. What is that? It is, for women, the way you present yourself in a way that makes you attractive is a lot to do with, hygiene, status, and I guess like a bit about your personality as well. I think those are the main things about appearance. Hygiene is a huge one. Obviously, women are really sensitive to smells and cleanliness. All we want is a clean guy. Clean. We don't want to be smelling your BO or your strong deodorant that's masking your BO, or what your musty clothes that haven't been washed correctly, because you didn't hang them up after you put them in the washing machine. Like, no, we don't like that stuff. Status, right? So obviously, your appearance and the way you present yourself will, portray a lot of that as well. So obviously you want to, women are attracted to men for their status, as much as, we might like to deny that. There's a lot that comes into this as well. It's not just the way you dress yourself, but it's also a lot to do with your body language and the way you interact with other people, that dictates status, like social status. And what was the other thing? And personality as well. So I think the way we dress ourselves and the way we present ourselves will always say something about your personality. Was there anything else you want to add to that, James?
Yeah, it's getting back to Charles Darwin for the 700 millionth time, 700th time in terms of talking about dating. Men are attracted to youth and beauty and fertility. So we look at boobs and face symmetry and hair thickness and eye color and skin whatever consistency, bum size and hip to waist ratios and leg length. We're obsessed with that. If anyone wants to argue with me, just go look at FHM or Playboy or anything. Whereas women are obsessed with your status in the hierarchy. So if you've got stains on your thing, on your shirt or your shoes or something, it's just not going to work for you, because women judge that very, very harshly. Like wearing old sneakers can kill you. There's an example that I think did the rounds on social media. I think a guy had some sort of photo of himself on some sort of dating app, or I can't remember the exact story, but he had a nice, beautiful bedroom, and he had a beautiful cupboard behind him. He was a wealthy professional guy, but he had this little box of stuff on top of his cupboard. And she goes, "Oh, that's disgusting. There's a box of stuff on top of his cupboard." And she didn't want to date him because of that. I'm just like, women make these judgments. I mean, women could sit and talk about me, or some of my friends have had a bit much Success with Women talk about the way we go, oh, if just her mouth was a tiny bit wider, that would be so good. Like Monica Bellucci, she's got too small a mouth. It's like, yeah, I can do that. So yeah, so men are ridiculous and women are ridiculous. I mean, how many guys, if a girl doesn't have a certain breast size, lose a lot of their attraction? Just like, yeah, they'll grow when she, it gets pregnant and has kids when they need to. What do you care now? It's like, yeah, well, you want big boobs, man. So yeah, I think this is the part of the thing about the red pill and the feminism. It's just like we're so judgmental of each other and mean to each other and so naive about each other. You got to try to understand each other. So yeah, women are really picky about what you wear, most of them. Really picky about what you wear, including trying too hard, which is something most dating coaches, most stylists don't seem to understand at all.
Yeah.
And us guys are really picky about a girl's age and beauty and potential fertility. And everything to do with female attractiveness are just fertility signs. Yeah, the reason you won't date fat chicks is they don't look very healthy, they won't live long, they won't have the energy to be good mums, but because you want to see a nice tip to waist ratio so that she can spit kids out, you want to make sure those boobs are full of stuff to make milk. Anyway, we'll move on to the next one.
Okay. James, what do you do when you get an ex-girlfriend reach out to you after 2 years? I've had this happen to me yesterday. She asked if I miss her. I don't. How best to manage this?
Can you give me the age differences? Is that our regular Luke? I think so.
I think so, yeah. Hi, Luke.
Yeah. Can you give me the age differences and like what is she in a scale of 1 to 10? On that subject, I just had an ex-girlfriend reach out to me. I wished her happy birthday a while ago, and we haven't talked since. And she reached out to me, and yeah, I needed to get some coaching from Tess, which was awesome because yeah, I still probably love this girl, but she's probably well beyond childbearing age. But I desperately want to be friends with her. Yeah, seeing her little show up in WhatsApp made my heart sing. Actually, will I do this now? Yeah.
Luke says, I'm 41, she's 30. Latina living in Australia.
I mean, yeah, I really need to get into sort of individual coaching. Does she have an Australian passport? Does she have a visa? How high is she in a scale of 1 to 10? What's your relative financial situations? Who broke the relationship up? Why did the relationship break up? Is she a nice person? So let me just answer that in a very generic way. Do you want ex-girlfriend? I mean, I'm a really good person unless someone invites me not to be and was an absolute horrible person. What did she say? She asked if I miss her. I would just not answer the question and go, oh, I've been really, really busy at the moment, so I'm so swamped in work. What's up with you? I wouldn't lie, but I wouldn't tell a lie in this case just to make the girl feel good. That's just off the top of my head. I'm not a text messaging master by any stretch. I used to outsource that to bisexual girlfriends. Tess, what do you think?
I think that's really nice, James, that you were considering that he even needs to respond. And
yeah.
in a really nice way. You know, the fact that you say, maybe I'm being a bit harsh here, but the fact that you say you don't miss her means like, do you want to even, like, she's obviously, it's a call for attention. Like, hey, do you miss me? I'm here. You know, I want attention. If you don't miss her, then you obviously don't want to give her attention. I mean, you haven't been thinking about her at all, potentially. So I just wouldn't respond.
Sorry?
And forget the message. I just wouldn't respond. Like, if you don't miss her and you don't want to spend any more energy with her, like, I mean, I don't know what your history is. You know, if you guys had ex-girlfriend, if she was like a long-term partner and you guys have still like a lot of respect for each other and all of that, great. But if she was ex-girlfriend, as in someone you just had a couple of dates with, and she just wants more attention now, I mean, up to you if you want to give her that attention or not. But if you don't miss her, then you don't miss her.
Unless the girl was an absolute bitch, I would definitely respond just out of karma. And also self-interest. I mean, women can get freaking nasty if you're in the same social circle, or you know, you're in the same industry, or you're even on social media, and you just ghost her, and you know, maybe her body is not as amazing as it was when she was with you, or maybe she just got her heart broken by some alpha male and she wants some attention from you. And if you don't handle this in quite a polite way, she might seek revenge. It used to be really mild. She'd just tell a bunch of girls you got a small dick and you crap in bread and your breath stinks and you got some disgusting hairy back like a carpet. Whereas now they can do all this stuff on social media. So yeah, don't piss the female off.
That's good advice. That's really good advice, James. I like that. Thank you.
Or sorry, even worse, sorry to interrupt you, Tess. She could go, we were on a date and we were out drinking and I said I didn't want to, and you just kept going and going and going and you wouldn't give up. Eventually I relented, but I felt taken advantage of. I felt you didn't listen to my objections. I felt raped. And just because she texted her girlfriend, oh, Luke was a bit pushy last night. I didn't want to do it, and he just wouldn't give up. So yeah, I felt like a bit cheap and dirty then. She texted that to her girlfriend. You can't remember what the freak happened because you know you'd be out at restaurants or something, and you'd have sex a few times with alcohol involved. You can't remember the freaking thing. You're down the police station, potentially getting to change sides in a prison cell at some point in the near future. So yeah, I just do it out of karma to begin with, but just be very, very careful with all this stuff. And learn the skills to be really good with women, so you've got much less chance to be in this situation. So I don't know, what did I say initially? I go, hey, how you doing? Been super duper busy. How's things with you? Or if you want to continue messaging her back and forth, how's your business going? Or how's your mum doing or something? But yeah, not to contradict Tess too much, but a woman would ghost, whereas I think a guy, Tess doesn't have a penis. I do. So I think for a guy, you'd want to just respond, but don't give it a lot of energy.
Thank you, James. I think that's actually really good advice. I think I was just putting myself in your shoes, Luke, and thinking if a guy who I don't care about messaged me wanting attention, I just wouldn't give it to him. So yeah, it is a little bit different. Tess is ruthless, Luke is saying. Sorry, guys.
Tess is wonderful. She's just answering as a woman, and she's not a woman.
Exactly. Yeah. No. And the question was aimed at James. I think he gave some really good, valuable advice there, James. So listen to James.
No fury. Sorry, I'm cutting off. Hell hath no fury as a woman scorned. Don't ever forget that. And apparently those Latino girls, particularly the hot ones, they have a bit more fury than the average one, even American redheads, apparently. So yeah, you don't want to upset a Latina girl. They get pretty, I haven't had firsthand experience. I have had firsthand experience of this, not on a grand scale. My worst stalker was a 6-foot German, but anyway, we'll get on to something else. We might just talk a little bit about the wonderful Tess. I'm going to add to stage. And how do we do this? Okay, I'm in the wrong thingy. Okie dokie. Now we just, I use StreamYard. StreamYard's wonderful. Oh, we're both, we just clanged our teeth together when we're trying to kiss. That was really awkward. Sorry about that metaphor, Tess. I did that with the love of my life. I was trying to be funny, but I ended up being just. She. If I upset Tess now, she could sue me for that. He implied we had a kiss on a YouTube live. I'm suing him for everything.
I've known you long enough, James.
Sorry.
I'm immune to those. I said I've known you long enough. I think I've become immune to those things.
I know, but some girl who had less morals than Tess could. And again, hell hath no fury as a woman scorned. Okay, what am I doing wrong? Okay, yeah, well, you can do it if you want, Tess. This is the wonderful woman you can go on a date with tomorrow. It might be one on Tuesday, I think. I'm not sure. And yeah, that's the wrong slide. Where are we? Yeah, so if you want to completely transform your life, like we've done for thousands and thousands of guys, for any Aussies in the room, we've got one boot camp left, and that could well be the last, because I want to get to Bali and charge a lot more money, especially for the guys who are flying from America now, which our YouTube channel has started to do. I've put it up 3 times. So anyway, if you want to work with us, our coaches are all what the average guy would consider smoking. There's one of them there, the one in front of you, and you can go on a date with her tomorrow. Natalia's another one. We've got Jackie, Val, Coda, Andy. There's a whole bunch of them. And then, yeah, the goal of this exercise is to identify and eliminate mistakes you've been making your whole life. These things are wonderful. I think the Q&A, especially in some of my stories and Tess's perspective, of the beautiful, beautiful woman. But yeah, if you just go on a date with Tess, do some approaches, work on your conversation, it's incredible the mistakes you're making. You've got no freaking idea about, like none, zero, zilch, which Tess will just pick up a list for you in seconds and then organize it for you. Relative to the average guy, your master approaching, your master conversation, just 1 or 2 of the tips or things we give you. And then the big thing of all is you get a custom dating plan. So it's whatever you need to work on. You're not 25 things, but we give you the key things that move the needle, the 80-20. And then out of the 80-20, we break down the top 3 action steps. No bullshit. If all you do is take Tess's #1 recommendation and do a half-assed job of implementing that, it's the best 45 minutes you've ever spent on getting better with women in your life. No BS, no BS. If I'd done this in my 20s or 30s, everything would have been completely different for me. It would have saved me a decade. Because you've got to understand what your #1 sticking point is. And most guys just don't know. And don't say, oh, he's got to do more approaches or got to build some muscles. So you walk away knowing how to get hot dates with Quality Women Weekly. And if you're skeptical, I mean, the average American, Australian, Canadian, English, most of Western Europe these days, other than the southern sort of Latino, more Latin countries, they're just so bad with women, it's ridiculous. So this could be you tomorrow. We charge $14.95 for this on the website, $1,495, because Tess is amazing. But if you do it tomorrow, we do it for just $1. You just got to have a quick call to make sure you're not going to weird Tess out or something. And then like a 5-10 minute call, and then yeah, you'll be thrown on to a date with Tess and change your life. We're getting sales from the US, a few. So 2 guys flying from the US on the next boot camp and 1 from South Africa. So when YouTube blows us up, which will hopefully happen soon, no more Australian boot camps, no more getting Tess for $1, maybe no more getting Tess for $500. It'll be someone else who Tess has trained. Okay, so not $14.95, just $1 tomorrow. Again, my successful friends tell me, if you're watching this live, then you need to click a link that will be in the description and the comments. I'll get a big high five from my friends who make a hell of a lot more money than me. And next Aussie boot camp, November's gone. 5 to 8 February is has got spots, but a bunch of them filled up in the last couple of weeks. And that's what your tomorrow looks like. Back to the questions.
Yeah. So I've put that link in the chat, guys. Would love to work with some of you. I actually noticed someone jumped on super quickly and has booked in. So looking forward to seeing you guys. Or seeing you, Rick. Thanks for booking in. And for anyone else who's here, I've put the link in the chat for you. I'll just pin it in the chat as well, so you guys can click on that. I've got a few spots for tomorrow night, and one for Tuesday as well. So we'd love to see you guys there. Let's get
Thank
back
you, Rick.
to...
Most guys wait till an hour or two later, or that they do it 20 or 30 minutes later, and we've gone to bed and we're like, oh, we're going to do another one tomorrow, and he's booked really early. So yeah, thank you, Rick. I have to give him an extra few minutes or something. Let us get back to the questions.
Cool. And yeah, if you guys have any more questions about anything we've talked about tonight, or really anything at all, around your sticking points with women, chuck them in the comments. We're going to be looking at these throughout the night. So we want to give you guys as much help as we can. If you like what we're doing, and the advice we're giving you, don't forget to like and subscribe as well. That'll help us out a lot, and help us keep doing this, giving you guys as much help as we can. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get back to the questions.
On that point, seriously, if we get some more subscribers and some more views, we'll start doing this Thursday as well, and we'll do it in American call times. So we'll do Monday morning for Americans, so you don't need to get up at 2 a.m. or something, because we get a huge, but when we get a huge bunch of views from America as well. So questions, if your trainer's that judgment, we've done that. Luke, good question. Paul Cooper, I think I know that name. Oh, if anyone's keen on the red pill versus feminism debate, just let me know. I've prepared for that. I'm not trying to take advantage of people. I forgot to swap the email we sent to our list. So anyone who wants that, I'm ready to deliver quite a bit of it without going too far into it.
So if you have questions about that, just chuck that in the comments. Anything you if you guys want red pill stuff, ask your questions in the comments.
There's so many things red pills put into the world. Some of it's actually quite useful, and I was talking about before, whatever the red pill guys came on board. Quite a bit of it I agree with, but there's no nuance, there's no understanding of women. There's a bunch of things I disagree with. So unfortunately, it's put a bunch of, just like the pickup artists put conventional wisdom into the world that's just completely wrong and nonsensical. I think the red pill movement has definitely done that. Every woman's this, automatron like, just trying to get a richer guy and doesn't care about guys or her relationship. She just wants the richest, tallest, handsomest guy she can get. And if you're not tall, rich, and handsome, you're completely screwed. I mean, this is just complete utter nonsense. But yeah, and the red pill guys say it, and then it gets more, it's like Chinese whispers. Some of the guys who are really struggle. Anyway, if I get some questions on that, I will, I'll love to do it. Paul Cooper.
Paul's asking... Yeah, Paul asks, can women act hostile to a guy they actually like? A couple of women told me that women can sometimes act hostile to the guy that they really like. Great question. Yeah.
They often do. Tess, go first.
Sure. Yeah, so this is really interesting that women, absolutely, yeah. And it's about really testing what you're made of, and this can come in lots of different forms, but yeah, women will test you, and sometimes that's she can act hostile, act in a certain way to figure out what you're made of, but also, is this guy gonna stick around? Funnily enough, I've got a friend who was just talking to me about this a couple of weeks ago, saying, she's like, oh, Tess, I don't know why I do this, but every time I start dating a new guy who I'm kind of interested in, I start, telling him stories of, this is probably really bad, but start telling him stories of like past boyfriends and, things I've done in the past that are potentially red flags and stuff. But she's trying to test whether this guy is going to stick around, basically, through thick and thin. She probably does that way too early, but that's a test that women can do. A test that other tests are, when she's hostile towards you, so she's like picking on you for certain things, or or yeah, just being a bit cold and not giving you much, it's because she wants to make you work for it a little bit. She wants to see, like, is this guy going to stand up for what he believes in, or is he just going to roll over and be pathetic, or is yeah, or can he handle me when I'm potentially, it's that time of the month and I'm moody, is he going to be able to deal with that? So yeah, women, it's super attractive when men can be that calm, stable rock who can diffuse those sorts of things that we throw at you. That's really attractive to women. So yeah, sometimes we will, even in the early stages, act hostile if we actually think, if we actually like you. For guys that we potentially don't like, we just ignore them or brush them off. But if we're like, oh no, actually, I'm a little bit interested here. I want to see what actually, what he's made of. Then she might, act a little bit hostile, and that comes in the form of testing.
Jackie, the girl, is really good at articulating female point of view on the YouTube channel, and Val, Russian female coach, who's on the YouTube channel a bit. They're quite open. They're very nasty if they really like a guy, and it's what Tess said. They're trying to figure out if this guy gets it. They're trying to figure out if this guy's an alpha male. Pretty much every model I've ever slept with, I shouldn't say pretty much every, but most of them, I've been regaled by this, whatever. Dad is taking over some huge media group. His father owns some huge media group in Europe that owns FHM and Cosmopolitan and all this. Or, I mean, in one case, I was out with Michael Jordan a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, yeah, I'm a backpacker. How can I ever compete with that dude? Anyway, that's a true story. I've had girls, this was after I slept with them, I've had girls who tell me I'm dating my ex-boyfriend and he's an elite Marine, he's killed a bunch of people, and he's 6'8", 6'3", and he's picking me up on his Harley, so I'm not seeing you tonight, after sleeping with me 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day for the last 3 or 4 days. So I go, oh, that's no worries. I just want to plan some of my travels. I'll just go to the cafe and do some travel stuff. And she wasn't even concerned. And then I go to the cafe and start doing my travel stuff. And then she texts me back. And she goes in the shortest skirt, the tightest top. And this is cold. It's New York in, I don't know, late November, December. And she texts me like, I don't know, half an hour later going, oh, it's too cold to go for a long ride tonight, so I'm going home. Where are you? I'm like, she had no intention of going for this ride with the guy. It was just a test to see whether I'd react to it. And yeah, he had a very, very loud Harley Davidson, I can assure you of that. They're being complete bitches and nasty. Jackie says it quite well as well. She says guys need to know how to handle my moods. So while we're doing Red Pill versus Feminism, Feminism did X, Y, and Z, which some people don't agree with. And then Red Pill, sort of the reactionary group. And they're saying A, B, and C, and maybe A and B are adding some value to the world, but C is just complete nonsense. They just don't understand women, let alone beautiful women, in what I can pick up. So that's a great example. Let me see. Was there a couple of Red Pill ones? Luke's a regular, so I want to keep the regulars happy. Okay, I might just go through a few things I wanted to talk about. Okay, I'll probably make some enemies here. Red Pill does talk about some quite important elements of female psychology that is really helpful. In terms of, I mean, I was doing this in 2009 at my student conference. In terms of the fact that I call it the life cycle. I don't know what they call it. The life cycle of men and women is very, very different. I mean, it's like stating the bleeding obvious. Men are much stronger than women. Women are more socially able and manipulative than men. Why are women more manipulative than men? Because they're evil, horrible people? No, because they can't punch you. They can, but they won't get very far. So yeah, women have developed and evolved with different tools to get what they want in life and help their genes survive. And women have developed the ability to read things and be manipulative, because prior to, I mean, even when I grew up as a boy, there was quite a few instances where I knew of women who were being hit by their partners, which is horrible. But yeah, so women had to fear this, so they need to develop extreme abilities to read what's going on so that they can push him, prod him, but they don't want to push him to a point of violence. Plus, obviously, they have kids, so they've got to tell whether the baby's hungry or just pissed off or tired. So yeah, they've developed a lot, so I just don't see much nuance there. Some of the points that are quite good. Is there something about red pill I can put up? Have we done a banner about red pill for everyone else?
Let me have a
We
look.
should have.
Some people are asking about red pill stuff.
I'll just put a red pill comment up. That would be great. Thanks for solving it for me, Tess.
Sure.
I'm sure Luke did one.
Just 1 second.
Okay, I'll get back to it if you just put that one up.
Yeah.
Okay, so some areas I agree with. I've been teaching for quite a long time. Yeah, they're looking for the best partner. They're more about status. And women are obsessed with one thing and one thing only. And tall, rich, handsome is, down the line. They're obsessed with guys who show the ability to rapidly progress up status hierarchies. Human brain chemistry doesn't change that long in 50,000 years, from what I know. So they want guys who, if they lose everything, which you couldn't really carry much on your back 2,000 years ago in terms of accumulating wealth, you certainly didn't have a bunch of Tesla stock or Bitcoin or property that you owned and could protect, unless you're a king. So women want guys who can lose everything and rapidly rise up status hierarchies. They're obsessed with that. That's why my company is called Social Coach, not Pickup Dude or even Attraction Institute, because it's all about social skills. And they take advantage of clueless guys quite a bit. And a lot of women will, if they get a chance to sleep with, I don't know, Leonardo DiCaprio or George Clooney, and they've got a beautiful, loving husband, especially even kids, they'll take that opportunity. And some of the people proposing red pill, they're so evil. They'll leave me for a tall, handsome guy. If he's more confident than you, they will. But a lot of our clients get left for guys who are nowhere near them. In one case, I won't say too much just in case he happens to watch, a very, very highly paid medical professional specialist, very highly paid, his anesthetist actually, tall, handsome, ticks every conceivable box, great guy, lots of friends, cultured, just ticks every box. He's an anesthetist, one of the highest paid medical things. And he left her for this complete loser who, from memory, might have got in trouble with the law, who had no money, nothing. He'd been on unemployment benefits for a long time, but he used to read her erotic literature, and whatever, sex would follow after that. And like this, Mr. Big or whatever his name is on Sex and the City, or whatever, one of them was dating a surgeon or something. It was like this guy, but she left him for some complete ugly loser because he had something that women want. So and while they bag, certain men bag women for trading up in terms of social status, which they do, how many dudes have married the love of their life in high school or university, and she sacrificed her career even though she was really bright, and then he works his guts off and she does a great job with his kids, and then he gets to 35 or 40, gets a few promotions, starts his own business, buys a BMW, maybe buys some fancy clothes, gets a bit more confident because he's a bit nerdy young, and then some crappy little redneck bogany secretary with plastic in her face and plastic in her chest starts working as a secretary, and he cheats on this woman who'd sacrificed everything for him and was a wonderful mother. That shit happens all the time. So yeah, men can be really evil, and we are, and women can be really evil, and they are. But yeah, it's just, you can't just say, oh, women are evil and men are good, or men are good and women are evil. It's absurd. It's asinine. So I should be seeing if any people are tuning out. I hope this is really valuable. Tess, if you can quickly do a quick banner on Red Pill, that would be really valuable. So I don't know. Are you guys enjoying this? If someone could just reply. Have people tuned off? I think it's really valuable because it's going to give you some background into a lot of bad advice that's definitely got into popular culture. So the first thing we had, which really sort of really took off in 2005, is something called pickup artists. And they basically teach you that to be good with women, you need to dress like a bit of a freak show and constantly peacock. Just look like, go in your astronauts or your scuba diving gear or something, and just stupid backpacks and jewelry and big stupid hats. And they tell you you've got to memorize things to say to women. So you walk up to them and you tell them a story, which you often lie about how wonderful your life is. And then you start being really mean to her to try to bring her value down so that your relative value looks better. This is all true. I'm not lying about any of this shit. I'm very grateful to them because they built the concepts of dating coach and dating boot camps, which enabled me to transform thousands of guys' lives completely. But so much of what they taught is nonsensical. Some of it was okay, like you have a shower. Some of his stuff around social dynamics was probably quite good, really good. I'm quite grateful because they got me onto really studying Charles Darwin. But there was so much that's really bad. The core underlying principle of both these movements, in my view, is guys, you want to do better with women, you should learn to manipulate them. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. The number of men who can manipulate women is small, and most of them aren't watching. The number of men who can manipulate attractive women is small, and they're probably not watching my YouTube live with James and Tess. They've probably had way more girls than they ever deserve. Or, I don't know, they could be some gun salesman or CIA agent or something like that. It's possible. So, yeah, stop trying to manipulate women. Stop trying to manipulate women. Stop trying to manipulate women. It's stupid. You're not going to do it. And when you can, you might be able to do one day. It's probably going to get you into trouble. I wanted something from Jackie and I needed it really quickly. So I pulled out a few of my tricks and got it. Oh my God, did she react? It's like, this guy manipulated me. And she yeah, it was not a good event in our relationship. It's probably one of the worst. And she was the Tess of the time. So that wasn't a good move. So yeah, and it often will backfire on you. The other thing about the pickup artist industry, am I losing people or gaining people? I can't see it at the moment. Its intellectual leader is 6'6" and pretty good looking and has hands like Michael Jordan, and apparently from a guy I know who used to live with him, what between his legs might be Michael Jordan size. Dude, and the guy dresses like a complete circus clown. Circus clowns have more style knowledge than this guy. Like, dude, just wear a plain t-shirt and a pair of Levi's, put on some Converse, or if you want to get fancy, wear a nice fitted blue shirt and some jeans that fit and some leather shoes. Women are going to throw themselves at you. He's kind of charismatic as well. You don't need your astronaut suit or your hat that makes you taller than anyone in the NBA. Seriously, dude. I don't know if I should say this. I showed him pictures of women I'd been with when I thought I was crap, girls I actually slept with. And he was just, these girls are so hot. They're amazing, man. Where'd you meet her? Where'd you meet her? And seriously, my first two roommates, just guys who worked in finance who are quite athletic and pretty confident, they would have destroyed the women he showed me he was with in finance. And he became the intellectual father of this movement that influenced tens, probably hundreds of millions of people and seeped into popular culture. I'll go quickly now. The genius internet marketer, who's the other big figure that really push this into the mainstream. Apparently, this is stuff I've heard online. I do know some people who know him. He married his first girlfriend. No, he married his second girlfriend, and his first girlfriend he met at a business seminar where he's a guru speaking to 500 people who are paying large amounts of money. And his core tenet was sort of to be cocky funny. Don't neg women. Don't bring their value down. He sort of softened that a bit, and he said, just always be cocky and cocky and cocky. And he's teaching this guys to programmers who can't read signals very well. They have high IQs but hopeless socially. It just doesn't work. You got to be who you are. Don't try to be cocky. I think he went to some college frat party and he somehow got to meet some guy who got a lot of girls, and he's watching this high school quarterback sort of poke fun at all the girls. And because of his status, he got away with it. But yeah, the other thing about putting women down is if you meet the intellectual fathers of this movement, you could probably think they're gay. You could really think they're gay. And there's a bunch of gossip about that. There was a bunch of gossip about that in the industry. He's so ashamed of his homosexuality that he actually goes all the other way and becomes this pickup artist. So yeah, and the guy who promoted it even more than the father of it, I mean, he never did a boot camp in his life. I don't think he's even coached guys one-on-one. Okay, so what I think you had, are people leaving, Tess? I just need to know. Or are people enjoying it? Okay, people seem to be enjoying it. I don't know. If you give me some comments, people, I'll round up.
This is no, people sticking around, and yeah, we've got some more questions coming through as well. This is good. If you guys have any questions around what James is talking about, feel free to chuck them in the chat. Any comments as well? Yeah, all good, James.
This is like a G-rated version of what I intended to give you guys. Okie dokie. And then my opinion, people will differ with me. There was probably some good stuff coming out of the pickup artist industry. He really opened the world to social dynamics. They promoted Darwin beliefs. So there was definitely some good stuff, but I think so much of the stuff that really caught on was very, very damaging to men and women. And I honestly think, I shouldn't say this. I think there's many men who aren't here now because they followed pickup artist advice. Many. And yeah, so what happened was, in my view, these guys are a lot more famous and probably rich than me, but I've coached a lot of students. The pickup artist guys tried that and it just didn't work, and it got them in trouble, and they started to get even more bitter and resentful towards women than when they were sort of dorky virgins. And then the guys who are doing these marketing courses, which I should have done back in 2008 rather than try to be a good dating coach, the guys who are doing these seminars were doing these great marketing courses in the US, and they got really good. So they realized that we're selling on pickup artistry and no one's getting any results except the tall, handsome guys, rich guys, and they're getting really toxic women anyway, who, whatever horrible things happen with their kids, strippers. And they only wanted strippers, really. I've never been a stripper in my life. So then they go, oh, well, we'll sell them in a game packages. So they start doing mock Tony Robbins psychology stuff. And so they go from selling pickup artistry to inner game stuff. And that was a huge thing for the guy called David D'Angelo. I've just got this beautiful sun in my face, which is a bit unpleasant. So they go from pickup artistry to the inner game stuff. And then they realized the inner game stuff doesn't work. So some of them got into self-help, some of which can be good. And then eventually none of this worked. They spent a whole bunch of money on it. They went out and some of them devoted thousands of hours of their life. It was their obsession. And then, so that spawned the red pill community where everything we tried for 10 years doesn't work. It's because I'm not tall, rich, handsome, famous, have a Ferrari with a big black What's-It between my legs, and work in finance or a surgeon or have a big business. And I could possibly, because I got a big nose as well. So I had all these things to blame for them failing. And then they let's just blame women. They're toxic bitches and they're manipulative and they're hyper, I can't even say the word. They constantly marry up, and they're looking to trade you in at any second and move on to the next guy. So they just started, based in some, some probably sound principles of evolutionary psychology, and they just made out women to be these horrific witches who are just the most horrible people on earth. And yeah, there are some women like that. I've come across them, but I think the psychopath rate's 1% for men, for women, 3% for men. So yeah, I'm going to go blind if I don't do something about this. Sorry about this. So yeah, it's not about pickup artistry. There is some good, I mean, there's good stuff in pickup artistry and some good stuff in Red Pill. But my view is there's a lot of bad stuff in Red Pill, in pickup artistry. There's probably a bit of bad stuff in Red Pill, mostly understanding of women, which I'm not sure if that's even taken into consideration. Might be a good way to sell books as well. So yeah, no, none of this matters. What do you need to do? You need to learn the skills to be successful with women. This must look really weird on YouTube Live. Tess, can you say something sexier?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to save myself from blindness in later life.
Just one second. Get rid of James for a sec. There we go. Let James do what he needs to do. Yeah, absolutely. So this comes back to what I was speaking about right in the beginning. My absolute number one thing to improve with women is to, where is it? Understand female psychology.
Sorry, Tess, you're okay. I'll finish this off and then we'll get back into it. I literally was freaking out.
No,
sorry,
okay.
Regular viewers. So where did I get up to? So yeah, the pickup artistry spawned boot camps to encourage guys to sort of study Darwin. There was a bunch of really valuable stuff around social dynamics. There's probably a bunch of other things I could list. I don't like it because it was strippers and it was manipulative and it was memorizing comedy routines and dressing like a freak show, most of which I don't think worked. The actual results a lot of guys got out of it was some women that you just really don't want to be with. Some really toxic women were the result of pickup artistry. Many people other than me have said damaged women. So yeah, pickup artistry was probably this much of a contribution, and I would say a lot more damage. Red Pill, it did really alert guys to stuff I was talking about and teaching guys long before this became a huge thing. I was stupid enough not to put it on YouTube, ridiculously stupid enough. But yeah, it did add some good stuff, particularly some guys who've been in some horrible situations with women. It may have actually saved some suicides. It's like, oh, I'm not alone. But I just think a lot of it just wasn't helpful. I could comment on some of the individual stuff, like always be dating multiple women or whatever they call it, or always pretend. I need to comment on this. Always be dating multiple women. I teach that. It's good until you sort of start to fall in love. Keep your options open, or you're getting close to fall in love. You think you've found your mother of your children. But if you are getting to a situation where you really like one girl, forget about love, just you really like one girl. I've had like 5 girls on the go at once, particular city. But yeah, there's one I really like the most. And eventually a month or 2 or 3 months later, I've given up the other girls, whereas they say, just keep doing it indefinitely. I'm like, why? I don't want to be with her. If she'd come into bed with the girl I like the most, I'd definitely want to be with her. But why would you just fake being with a girl that you're not really that into? I just think it's crazy. If you could put the Red Pill thing on the stage so people know what the hell I'm talking about. So that's one of them, the plate spinning or whatever they call it. I did a bit of research before I came on. And the other thing that I got was the fake flirting, where, you want to keep this BITCH in line. So you're constantly parading other girls in front of her. Okay, if you get one thing out of this and all the men's movements, you're not going to be able to manipulate women. You're not going to be able to manipulate women. Sometimes you can, and it's simply because she doesn't want to challenge you, or maybe because you've got her at a point, or she is a girl who's just so desperate. She knows you're manipulating her, but she lets you get away with it, which is quite common, I think. Particularly if a woman's not as attractive or a bit older or whatever. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of other things I could go into, but we'll see how it goes. So what's the answer? I don't know how long this was, 10 minutes. What's the answer? Get the skills. If your kid's been beat up, you're a little small kid and he's getting beat up by older kids. What do you do? What do you do? Do you take him to a psychologist? Do you take him to some negotiation specialist or something? Do you make him dress so he's all meek and not threatenable? No, you take him to an MMA coach. And, he might be small, he might be very strong, but you teach him to kick the living crap out of anyone who's bullying him. And even if he does get beat up, people learn, no, I'm going to pick on someone else. I'd give anything if my parents had done that for me, because I was really good at sport, but I was skinny and pathetic and weird and big-nosed and hunched over. And if someone had taken me to boxing class, I'd have done some serious damage to the bullies, because I'm born with a lot of fast twitch muscle fibers. Unfortunately, anyway, can I make a bad joke? No, I'll get in trouble on YouTube. A certain part of the world that's very, very good at all the power sports. The reason is because they've got incredible amounts of fast twitch muscle fibers. I've got some of them, but there's something else those guys have that I missed out on, sadly, despite the big nose. If anyone can get my euphemistic joke, anyway, probably not worth it. So, so you got to get the skills. You got to get the skills. Touch, eye contact, body language, reading women's signals, dressing well, learning to understand the psychology, learning their tests and manipulations, learning how to do a date plan, and a whole bunch of other things. That's probably the top 7 or 8 I've given you. And yes, if you're not tall, rich, and handsome and have a Ferrari and a Range Rover and a big black What's-It, it's going to be a bit harder for you than the guys who are all those things. But those guys get the most toxic women you can ever imagine. And after 19 years as a coach, those tall, rich, handsome guys are often so clueless about women, it's not funny. And they're far more bitter about women than the short, nerdy, slightly autistic guy who can't read signals and can't dress well and stinks and has bad breath, like Tess was talking about earlier. They're more hurt by women than anyone. Celibacy, even jerking off to porn, is way better than having a toxic woman who's got her claws into you, if he wants to back me up on that. It's just like a small guy who's getting bullied a lot, beating up a big guy. You just got to learn some skills. What's his name? Caleb or Conor McGregor? I'm not a huge MMA fan. I've watched a few. If they're getting, what do they fight at? 68 kilos? What's that in pounds? I don't even know. 130 pounds or something. If Connor or Caleb gets into a fight with some 225 pound guy, what's going to happen? They'll destroy him. They'll kill him. They'll kill him in minutes if they want to. Absolute, complete destruction. Kill him in seconds if they want to. But it's because they've developed some skills, punching, moving, keeping your eyes open when you're getting hit, strength, grappling, jiu-jitsu. They've developed these skills, and they'll destroy a guy they'll destroy a guy who's twice their weight. So anyway, hope that rant was worthwhile. That's what I promised to give you guys tonight. In terms of you're not tall, rich, handsome enough, I must have coached 100 guys over 5'7" to do absurdly well with women. Multiple women, sometimes threesomes, girls you'd never, ever believe they could ever get. Plus a lot of guys who just aren't particularly attractive at all. Lots of guys who've got, not so much these days, but lots of guys who've got very, very modest jobs and careers to be insanely good. I'll round up on this one. The guys I learned to get better with women from were not working in offices. They were not successful. In the main, they were barmen. There's a yoga teacher. There was people who dealt narcotics. There was a lot of spiritually people. There was guys who drove tour buses around Europe. There were guys who just cleaned the toilets at hostels, but because they cleaned the toilet at a hostel and on a status hierarchy, girls want to sleep with them more. I'll round out with a bit of a joke of mine. You're on a tour bus driving around Europe with a bunch of girls who are getting drunk and want to get laid, and a bunch of guys who are getting drunk and want to get laid. On that bus happens to be a tall, handsome NBA player, a tall, handsome surgeon, and a tall, handsome hedge fund manager. Who do all the girls on the bus want to sleep with? Can anyone tell me? The bus driver or the tour guide. Anyway, let's get back to questions. So if that was valuable, could someone give me some love? I stupidly couldn't see. I've lost maybe just one.
Yeah, Samson was saying it's all good. There's a few comments here as well. From Luke saying Jay, I think that's yes. Cool. All right. So
Questions.
yeah, if you guys agree with what James has said, or if you want more information, or if you want any comments, feel free to put them in the chat. We have had a couple of questions here. This one kind of relates to what James was talking about before as well. Here we go. Oh no, not this one. Sorry, I've missed one. I just want to get through them all. So sorry, 1 second. We'll get to your question, Nenad. But here we go. Samson Property Services says, is there any tests that a man should do to ensure that a woman you are dating is likely to be there in good times and bad? In my last relationship, I turned down a potential threesome. Sorry if I didn't read that very well. I'll read that again. Are there any tests that a man should do to ensure that a woman you are dating is likely to be there through good times and bad? In my last relationship, I turned down a potential threesome. What do you think about this, James?
As a rule, men should not try to manipulate or test women because you're going to fail massively. That doesn't mean your question is invalid. It just means you've got to find other ways. Tess, how do you tell if a girl's like genuinely interested in you, not your money, your looks, your status, or she's just lonely, she's with you because you can't get something else? What are some signs guys can see? So don't try to manipulate them unless you're CIA or a gun salesman or you've already slept with 50 or 100 really attractive women or more. Don't try to manipulate them. But what are some signs that guys should look for?
Well, first of all, don't present yourself that way. If that's what you're presenting, then you're probably just going to be attracting the kind of women that are looking for those over other all else. So if you're presenting yourself in a way that where you're trying to show what you do for work or how much money you have, and taking her out on expensive first dates, and just put her on a pedestal, that sort of stuff, that's you're going to attract women who are that's all they care about. And if she doesn't care about that stuff, she'll tell you and say, like, listen, this stuff isn't that important to me, like, let's go on a date where we can just get to know each other and whatever. So yeah, first of all, don't sell yourself that way. What are some of the signs that women might be just interested in those things? Well, if she's if she's like asking you questions about how much money you make, and what sort of car you drive, and what else? I suppose if she's asking those sorts of questions and then giving you flirting with you, but then stringing things out for a long period of time before she actually sleeps with you, that's a potential red flag for that as well. So she's just trying to use you, give you attention, make you think she's interested, lead you on, but really she just wants to I don't know, out with gifts and take advantage of you and get free dinners and stuff. I don't know. Honestly, it's hard for me to relate to that sort of thing. So first of all, don't present yourself in a way that's going to attract those type of women. That's really, really important. And then, some of the things I spoke about. I don't know if you heard that, James, but
Yeah.
yeah, asking how much money you make, what do you drive, what car do you drive, yeah, trying to make you buy things for her and using that as leverage before she like has sex with you, that sort of thing. Yeah.
I might just ask that another way. Tess, I haven't dated Tess, so I'm not 100% sure about this. But if you look at the various beautiful women I've hired as dating coaches,
Mhm.
I would speculate she is close to, if not the most dateable, most decent in terms of your dream girl, probably closest to most of your long-term dream girl. I don't know. I had an ex-girlfriend who's lovely to the whole world, but treated me like whatever, appallingly. I don't think that's the case with Tess. I'm at least 95, 98% sure, but I could have been wrong with this girl. She was lovely to the world. I don't think so. So let me ask this another way. Which one of the things that makes her such a great female coach, because she's closer to many of my clients' target market than many other beautiful women, like much, 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 much closer. I'm not talking about boob size or leg length or face symmetry, or the perfect smile, which Tess, AI is modeling her smile to make people. Did you know that Grok AI is using your smile to make the perfect woman, Tess? I'm just crapping on. Put
Thanks,
another
James.
way, when you're really serious about a guy and you're really sort of about to fall for him at the start, what are you doing differently towards, oh, this guy's cute or he's fun, or what's the difference when it's a guy who could be really special? You want long term. You're not trying to take advantage of in any way.
I don't try to take advantage of men. That's the thing. So I know that it happens. I know. Sorry, James, but this is why I find it difficult to answer these questions, because if I'm not into someone, I'm pretty just upfront and just say, hey, I'm not into, like, I don't want this. Let's be friends. But yeah, it was fun. But yeah, I just don't think we have enough in common, or whatever it is. I tell a guy I'm not interested. I'm not just trying to use them to keep, I'm not going to keep dating someone and spending my time with someone who I don't actually see legitimate, authentic value in for having a relationship with. So, yeah, what do I do differently? Well, I keep giving my attention to the guys that I'm interested in. And yeah, I guess, um, yeah, I don't like to play too many games. So if I am really interested in a guy, obviously I don't want to be coming across as completely, needy and needing a lot of their attention all the time. But yeah, I'm just respectful and try to connect with them authentically. And yeah.
I mean, I don't have a great answer for this. I mean, something women do to men all the time is they'll get some friend who's hotter than them to hit on the guy really aggressively. So you could get some friend who's whatever, higher status, better looking, whatever the metric is than you, to hit on her. Does she ask you lots of questions? Does she remember stuff about you? Does she respect your family? If you ask her about her last boyfriends, is she bitter or twisted about her family? Oh, huge one. What are her girlfriends like? Birds of a feather flock together. Girlfriends are all sitting there with their perfect lips and their perfect handbag and their perfect outfits. I think they all went to the same stylist trying to get money off rich guys. They all look exactly, I'm exaggerating. Birds of a feather flock together. So I'm not saying all Tessa's hot friends are dateable, but if she's in the hippie community, she's a really decent girl. She's had long-term relationship. Oh, another one is she still friends with her exes? That's huge. if a girl's not friend, has she had long-term friendships? If someone knows no one in their life from 10 years ago, that's a problem child. And there's a lot of hot women who just go through life just manipulating, taking advantage of, using their beauty to get what they want out of life, then just disposing of people.
That's good, James.
So yeah, some stuff like that. Long-term friendships, friends with exes. One thing, Tess was wonderful. I got a coaching call with Tess. That's how good they are. So they're in the comments and in the chat, and put it in again if you can put it in again. Yeah, I did a coaching call with Tess. My issue is a bit different. As a girl who's incredibly dear to me, and I'm still friends, very dear friends with a girl who is one of the most important people in my life, who changed my life. But I wanted to know if it was a good idea to sort of rekindle a friendship, not just chatting on WhatsApp, but to actually do Zoom calls with her. I'd probably start crying if I did one seriously. So yeah, they would be some great metrics. Do you feel like you're being taken advantage of or manipulated? Does she expect you to pay for everything? Does she offer to pay for anything? Does she make an effort to get to know your family, even if one of them is a bit difficult? So there's probably a whole bunch of things. If someone plays all that back and watches them and makes a list, there's probably a huge amount of good value. I couldn't pull a ripper out my ass though, but
no, I absolutely agree with you there, James. There are a lot of really great tests, or just signals that when a woman actually is interested in you more than just superficial things. Does she go out of her way to say things to you, or do things, or give you things that she knows you're going to really enjoy based on what she knows about you? Does she care about your happiness?
have a threesome with her. Especially a girl who's got bigger whatsits or longer legs or prettier face. See how she reacts in that situation. So you're putting her under immense pressure. Travel with her, travel intensively with her. A girl who did significant damage to moi, because unfortunately, she had control over me. I should have never, ever given her. Idiot, complete idiot fool. The first time we did a holiday together, somewhere that was like proper hardcore independent travel, she freaked out about a couple of things. That the greatest woman of my life, she was part of the most extreme travel I've ever done. So yeah, travel might be another good one as well. Having a threesome too, because a lot of the first time I saw one girl's true colors was with a threesome. I was watching an old English show about a guy with a stutter. It seems like I've adopted Claudius's stutter. Anyway, probably get in trouble for that. So yeah, does anyone know what the TV show Claudius is? I'd be interested. It's one of the great pieces of British television before they went all crazy. Let's get back to the questions. Great question, Samson.
Yeah. Okay, so there's one here from Shimmy who says, I've met a coworker who speaks a different language. After impressing her with my language skills, I'd like to ask her out, but I'm mindful of potential workplace complications. Any tips?
Okay, this is why YouTube's great, but how much money do you make? How much education did you need to put into getting these skills? How important is she to you? How easily can you meet other women? Could this girl be your wife? If you're any sort of a professional or there's anything involved, I would just say, do not touch that woman. Part of what we do and part of our selling point is we give you the skills so you're not going to dip your wick in the company ink, as a friend of mine, as a mentor, a guy I used to work with say. So yeah, just do not do it. If you've got some summer job on your European holiday, or you're working part-time in a bar, go through as many as you can, young man, because you're going to get some really valuable experience and fun that you might not get when you're a bit busier. So if you give us some other metrics about your situation.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing with this question is yeah, I'm mindful of potential workplace complications, as you should. So remember, yeah, if things don't go well or you approach this the wrong way, and the woman, you know, says you've sexually harassed her, that's going to be a huge problem for you. So it's just, yeah, it's risky in the workplace. Just, yeah, be aware of that.
And hell hath no fury as a woman scorned, and hell on speed hath no fury as a beautiful woman scorned, and hell on every drug known to man has no fury as a beautiful, intelligent woman scorned. I can tell you, there's some very, 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 very nasty people there. I thought Stalin and Mao and Pol Pot and Saddam Hussein were nasty. Get on the wrong side of a beautiful, intelligent woman. Beautiful, intelligent, whatever I said before. Anyway, I'm probably going too much. On a serious point, Natalia and I, because we do get this question a lot, how to date a coworker, we made a video called How to Pick Up Girls at Work or something like that, which is on our YouTube channel. That will give you, in my opinion, a Nobel Prize winning answer, because I did it. Natalia tells it contributes a lot as well. So yeah, go to How to Pick Up Girls at Work, whatever the hell I called it. That'll give you, if you decide you're going to go down this path with all the disclaimers I've given you, just follow that video, watch it 3 or 4 times.
Awesome. Yeah. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, and watch that video, guys. There's a whole bunch of really valuable content as well, videos that James has made with Natalia and Jackie, about all sorts of different topics. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Have a look at that video that James is talking about. I've put a little link in the chat as well that you can just you can click that straight away and take you to the page where you can like and subscribe to our channel. So yeah, let's go to.
And one of the videos is about the Aussie swimsuit model talking about looking at women's boobs. So you can see that one. That's a good one. What was I going to say? Yeah, we've made videos with a lot of people. And yeah, if you could do me a favor, and when you watch the videos on our channel, just repeat this quote: "The sun shines out of Tess and James's ass." That'd be really helpful. Thank you. So send the YouTube algorithm some good feedback for us, and we'll give you more YouTube lives. The sun shines out of Tess and James's ass. That would be a lovely comment. You could make. Someone would probably do it. I jest. More questions.
If someone actually writes that.
Sorry.
I said special prize for whoever actually writes that on one of your on one of your pieces of content. Okay, so let's have a look here. Let me see where we're up to. Okay. Here we go. From Nenad, if a woman shows interest in a guy and the guy feels pressured to either approach the specific girl or show interest in her, what would be the best approach for the guy to take? Okay, cool. Feeling pressured is an interesting way of putting that. Feeling invited, let's say, if she's showing you interest, showing interest is a good thing, and inviting you to approach is great. I mean, if that's putting pressure on you, that's telling me that potentially you might have some approach anxiety, which is something that is very, very common. I'm sure a lot of guys, I mean, all the guys we work with pretty much can relate to that. So yeah, if you can see that she's interested and you're feeling the pressure because you've got that approach anxiety. Yeah, what would be the best approach for the guy to take? Give her what she wants. Approach her, obviously. Now, how do you do that successfully? Well, you need to learn the skills. So this is the stuff we teach. This is the stuff there's a lot to it. It's not just there's no simple answer to this. You need to present yourself well. You need to come across as confident and masculine. You need to not be creepy. You need to continue to read her signals and be receptive to how she's responding to you. But just to keep it simple, give her what she wants, create a strong first impression, and get her invested in the conversation. And as I said, how to do this, you need to learn the skills. So there's a lot to it, Nenad. Too much to cover here. If you want to know more about how to do this, the best way to do that is to book in a session with me tomorrow, and I can go on a date with you and practice the approach and conversation, and I'll tell you exactly what you're doing right and wrong, and give you a plan on how you can improve. The
link should be in the comments. I think there might be a session or two on Tuesday as well. And for anyone watching the replay, you'll see it in the comments and pinned in the chat. My successful friends will give me a big pat in the back for it. I might just touch on that. There's this is how complicated. I talked about how men are like the times tables up to 12. Women are like particle physics. Approaching a girl cold and approaching a girl invited, if any guy can actually see the invitations, is a completely different sport. It's a completely different sport. If I get an invitation and I approach a girl the way I do it cold, that's not going to go too well. To look like I'm trying too hard and I'm clueless. Whereas if I do an invited approach, if I do a cold approach the way I do an invited approach, it's going to be a bit off. So it's succeeding with women is incredibly complicated. It's incredibly complicated. There's some core fundamentals you need to get. But hopefully that was valuable. Next question.
Next question. Let's have a look. We've got okay. Samsung Property Services. The other night, I was told that I'm humble by a woman I had dinner with. Is that a good thing? I would say that's a good thing. That's a pretty simple question. Yes or no question. Yes. I would say being humble is a good quality. I'd say that's definitely a good thing.
I've never had a woman tell me I was humble on a date. Never, nothing. Had the opposite a few times, more than a few times, especially in relationships. I'm told the opposite constantly. I would guess so. I'd need to see the context, but if she said it, that probably would be that would be a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well done.
So one of the other skills we teach, it's a bit too advanced for YouTube Live, for guys who are doing well, is to constantly bag yourself and bring yourself down.
Being humble is much better than being like talking yourself up and being big-headed and selling selling yourself as being more valuable than you are. If you're humble about what your achievements, etc., it's it shows that you don't need to. You're not trying to impress her with those things. You're just which is a good thing.
I might just round that out. Women love confident guys. So if you're confident and humble at the same time, very nice. If you're not confident and you're not humble, potential rapist. It's an exaggeration, but it's like stay away. You're probably a pickup artist. So if you're confident, humble can be a selling point, but you've got to be confident first, because a lot of women are really attracted to guys who have a very, very, very high opinion of themselves. But if you're constantly selling the fact you've got a high opinion of yourself to the girl, that still works, but not as well, particularly in the long term.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. James is
Hit me
hit
with
the nail on
quality
the head
women.
with that.
Sorry, Tess.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I was just agreeing with you, James. I absolutely, yeah, confidence. Confidence is key. But yeah, and also, yeah, being humble on top of that is great. So, what else we got here? Any more? A couple of comments. Here we go. Magnus is asking, great stuff. Thanks, Magnus. Always nice to have you here. What's the best way to break up with a woman to avoid vindictiveness/attacks? I've had this before and it sucks. Yeah, Magnus, I'm really sorry to hear that. Yeah, I suppose the biggest thing is just to be respectful, like obviously, if you've done something, like you've led her on for whatever reason and she can see that you did that, and then broke up with her in a way that wasn't very respectful. I could see that happening, but I don't know. Why would a woman be vindictive or attack you just for breaking up with her if there wasn't a valid reason for that? Yeah,
I can help
I don't
if you
know.
want.
Yeah, what do you think, James?
The guy who asked the question, at least when I coached him, could walk into any modeling agency and book work. He seems like a really good guy and he's pretty smart too. You want to be tall, rich, and handsome, you get this shit. You break up with women and they want to kill you. So yeah, everyone says, oh, you got to be tall, rich, and handsome, and it's so easy. It might be easy to get girls, but it's often the girls you don't want, and there's so much more problems afterwards. So yeah, if you're not tall enough, rich enough, handsome enough, charismatic enough, large enough piece of equipment between your legs, whatever the thing is with you, your bum's too hairy, whatever you're whining about. No, I should say that's disrespectful. Whatever your excuse is, if you were one of the guys you think has such a great life, it's often not that good. So this guy's asking a question: what's to avoid vindictiveness and attacks? Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk, who very few people could ever understand for a second, he says nearly everyone would hate to be me, even though, I mean, the guy's probably got hundreds of millions of people who worship the ground he walks on. Equally, Michael Jordan, one of the reasons he left basketball is because he had the most horrific life you could ever imagine. He was a high security prisoner in hotel rooms, buses, jets, and his mansion. He could not move. If he went out in public, people would get seriously injured because there'd be a riot. This is when he was three-peating. So yeah, I'm not good with women because I'm not tall, rich, and handsome. You don't want to be. It makes shit really hard, really hard. And there's so many more things you got to consider. Rich as well. I mean, tall, rich, and handsome is bad. If you're rich or add rich to it, Jesus, it's a complete nightmare being rich and tall, rich, and handsome. Because you got to get really good at reading signals. You got really good at women's tests. You got to get really good at telling whether this is a good girl or not. Like insanely so. Otherwise, in 225, you could find your pretty ass in jail, being taken advantage of in very unpleasant ways for straight fellows against your
Yeah,
will. So anyway, we should answer his question now. But yeah, I've coached so many guys who were not tall, rich, and handsome. And whenever I hop on YouTube, it's just if you're tall, rich, and handsome, it's all very, very easy and straightforward. Yeah, it might be easy to get girls, but yeah, it's not the way you want to be. And it's much harder to get a good girl. Best way to break up with a girl to avoid vindictiveness attacks. I've had this before and it sucks. I've had it many times. I've had soles with red shoes with red soles that cost absurd amounts of money hurled at me. So yeah, in public, at a cafe, lots of people around, audio record the thing, get someone to video it for you. Start with compliments. Start with highlighting all the wonderful things about her, and find something honest to blame. Like, oh, I'm so busy in my career, or I mean, I'll often blame, she's great, she ticks most of my boxes, the sex is good, but yeah, you're just so sort of up and down, and I feel like that, blah 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 blah. I just don't feel happy. It's just you're taking my energy away. I usually do that. I don't know if that's the best advice, but that's where I've usually gone. So I've tended to have warned them a few times. Tess is going to disagree with me. Just tell her she's like, no, sorry, when she questions you and harasses you and you don't want to lie, I'd go with that.
Yeah, I think also if she has a tendency to act out and she's going to be vindictive and attack you, yeah, I agree with James's approach for showing, trying to make her feel valued in some way. But then to say I'm breaking up with you because you're too up and down, or like there's a problem with her, you're kind of undoing all that stuff. So again, yeah, if the reason, I mean, always you should be honest, but there's also a way to deliver these things as well. So it might just be more of a neutral way of saying that, like, I don't feel well equipped enough at the moment to deal with some of the issues that come up between us, and it's just gone to the point where it's not working for me anymore, right? Rather than I can't deal with your ups and downs. So yeah, it's about your approach. Just think about how you want to deliver that before you go and do it. How it's going to come across in a way that's it's a bit more like matter of fact, not like there's a problem with you. Yeah.
In 2025, which way is Tess? Do what she says, not me. For whatever you do, I don't remember the stuff I did wrong unless it's actually valuable to me learning. So I should talk more about the monumental mistakes I've made. But anyway, here's a mistake I've made. If she persists and she gets nasty and she starts arguing with you, don't use the line, "You're just not user-friendly, bitch." That does not go down well. Does not go down well. I thought it was kind of funny making a computer reference to explain a woman's shortcomings. Women don't share my sense of humor when you say you're just not user friendly, bitch. Sorry.
No, don't do that. We don't do that. No.
Don't do what I do. I'm not. I probably could be a really good relationship coach, but I'm not a professional relationship coach. My relationship coaching skill is in getting you the best possible woman to get you the highest possible chance of success in a sweet, loving, wonderful relationship, and the best mother for your kids, simply because you've got so much in common. That's my relationship coaching skill, which I immodestly believe is more valuable than all the other relationship coaching. Get the first one to begin with. Get her right to begin with, and have a bunch of experience before you go committing to one, and have some ups and downs with a few before you get onto that. So yeah, someone said not in public.
Let's have a look.
No, I'm a big fan of in public. If you think it's going to be a bit acrimonious, so I'm going to stop using wanky words. If you think it's going to be a bit rough, do it in public and have witnesses. If you give me feedback on why you don't do it in a public place, I'd love to.
Yeah. So, he's so following on from that, John said, don't do it in a public place. I suppose it can be. Yeah, the woman, if she's going to get emotional or whatever, she might hold back from letting out her emotions in public, which means that she might feel a bit manipulated in that sense. But if she has a tendency to be aggressive, then I would understand why you'd want to avoid that completely. If she has that tendency to lash out and be aggressive, if that was her initial reaction. So if that's why you're breaking up with her, then yeah. So John's just followed on from that.
Okay, do it in public, but then send her a voice note with all the stuff. That's a joke. Don't do that. Do what Tess does. My extensive dating experience was pre the Me Too movement. I've heard a bit since then, but much more limited. So yeah, I got to brush up my skills in terms of dumping women.
Yeah. So yeah, John, yeah, this is exactly what I just said. That's what I think he was alluding to. It's can be embarrassing for her if she has an emotional reaction, right? So yeah, I mean, potentially do it in a public place that's somewhat private if you want to avoid being attacked if you think she's going to be aggressive. So yeah, if you were like in an outdoor area, but it was like a park and there are not people in the general close vicinity where she can cry and you know, and yeah, you can have a moment, but it is, yeah, she's still, yeah, she'd be less inclined to be aggressive. That's probably the best solution.
Can I just sell the hell out of social coach for a minute? This is why you should listen to men, because women haven't been there, haven't done it. You know, you don't ask a fish to teach you how to catch fish. There's so much truth to that. So much truth to that. But at the same time, if you don't have a man, so if you don't have a woman, you're missing a huge part of the game. You're missing a huge part of the game. I've been doing this shit for 19 years. Thousands of guys. Haven't been making YouTube videos. I'm still probably fuzzy because I've got low resolution now. I'm not much of a YouTuber, but I've coached thousands of guys. But we get a question. Someone pushes back on me and disagrees with me. The expert female coach gives the female perspective, and I learn something. I get humbled. See, I'm humble. Girls, see, I'm actually humble. You can fuck me. I was wrong. Sorry. I was totally wrong. Yeah, she doesn't have the chance to vent. So while Tess was talking, I'm trying not to interrupt her, even though there's a lag with the thing. I thought, yeah, just do it in a park. Like for Sydney people, do it in what's the park in Sydney called? Hyde Park. For New Yorkers, find a little quiet part of Central Park. Just find a bench and then do it there. So you're in public. She can't stab you or smash your skull in with a pair of high heels, which I've seen happen. A stripper did that after someone upset her. I saw that with my own two eyes. It's very, very, very bloody. The guy's lucky he didn't have his eye taken out. I don't know why I'm going on this path. It's just an interesting anecdote when you travel too much. Happened in Adelaide, of all places. So yeah, a public park seems to be the new social coach recommended method for breaking up with girls. For anyone who lives in Vladivostok or the north of Sweden, we'll have to come up with something better for you in winter. She won't be able to see you. She won't be able to hit you with the shoe because it'll be dark all the time. So maybe that's a bit. Sorry.
Give us some more information. It says the attacks I've had have been after the fact, reputational stuff. Thankfully, a rare occurrence. Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, so she's kind of yeah, she's held some resentment towards you after the breakup, and then yeah, attacks your reputation, etc. Yeah, that's just jealousy. Obviously, if you've moved on quickly and you're dating someone else, or just yeah, you just got over it quickly, and she's still in love with you or whatever, then sometimes those feelings can turn into resentment. How does that come out? Yeah, she might attack your reputation. So I mean, how do you avoid that? Again, I suppose if you just try to keep the relationship keep it positive, stay friends with your exes, just always be respectful, and that comes down to like good communication throughout the relationship as well. And being honest, really. But yeah, again, there are going to be some women who just act out that way. I don't know how to avoid that. Like, yeah, if she's jealous, yeah. Just happens. unfortunately.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep for nights after a 6'1", large-breasted German girl. She was literally smacking on my door, and it was absurd. It was terrifying. I was scared she was going to get other men to come and beat me up or something. I was really scared. It can be terrifying. So, but you can't tell. You just can't tell up front. I mean, again, this is why the tall, rich, handsome guys have it much worse. I mean, a client of mine, one of my favorite clients, he had a girl come around to his house when he was in Thailand, take the dog to vet and get it put down. So yeah, I mean, the shit women can come up with to take a revenge. As I said before, hell hath no fury as a woman scorned. Hell hath absolutely no fury as an intelligent, beautiful woman scorned, especially when they get over a certain age. We'll get back to questions.
Yeah.
We can make the questions bigger for next time.
Okay, yeah, we'll look into that. Nena just said, following on from his question before, when a woman's showing signals and you feel pressured to approach her, what's the best course of action to take? That was his first question. And I was talking about why do you feel pressured? Is that because of your own approach anxiety? But he's just said now, in relation to that question, I was specifically talking about feeling pressure from male friends to approach the girl and not the girl herself. Okay, great. So wherever the pressure is coming from, like I said before, the best course of action to take is to, yes, approach her, create a strong first impression, and get her into a good conversation where she's going to be invested and she's not trying to run away and reject you. You might have to get past a couple of tests initially, or if you're able to create the really strong first impression straight away, then she might not test you as much. So how do you do that? Too much to talk about right here. I need to coach you in that. So again, going back to I think I can really help you a lot. I need to see what your biggest sticking points are to begin with, though. So please book in a session with me tomorrow. I've still got some availabilities. We've had a couple of bookings, but I've still got a couple of slots available. So it's pinned in the chat. Feel free to click on that link and book in with me. And let's get back to some of the other questions.
And for those watching the replay, if you want to get a date with Tess, you just got to go to the comments. It should be pinned there. I might just handle that. If you're feeling pressure from your male friends to approach a girl, that's good. You might have some friends who care about you. I had that in my 20s. I mean, if only I was so insecure, it was horrendous. I'd have probably rather played Russian roulette than approach a girl, even if she was showing signs at me. So I had my friends' girlfriends trying to get me to approach girls. I was like the most, I was like big, huge, 200-kilo cement blocks formed on the lower half of my body, and I couldn't move. My pulse rate would probably jump 40 beats a minute. Just the thought of it, it was that bad for me. So yeah, you may have some good friends. You may have some drunk friends who are just screwing around with you, but you may have some drunk friends who are screwing around with you who don't have the confidence to do that if they're not drunk. So yeah, if you can't approach a woman, you are living a tiny, tiny, tiny little life, and you are setting yourself up for toxic relationships, especially if you're tall, rich, handsome, blah, 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 blah. You have to be able to approach women. You have to be able to approach women. Like, hopefully when I have a son sometime, I'm going to take him to MMA. I'm going to teach him how to sell. I'm going to teach him how to get hot girls. There's all these skills men need to have. I'm going to teach them how to approach girls. You teach them a bit about sex. All these important things, push them into public speaking. There's a whole these things that men need to be able to do to live a even moderately happy life. So You just got to be able to approach girls. Now, as it turns out, approaching girls, once you get good at it, isn't that important. It's about reading signals and very subtly approaching girls, so that it's not like this aggressive pickup artist style cold approach. Because to get a really hot girl, okay, if Tess has just done a modeling job and she's at a bar or a party, and I just walk up like, no, I'm an alpha male pickup artist. I've come to meet you. Your nose wiggles when you talk. That's a pickup artist joke, by the way. And I do this. So I do even like how social coach teaches. Hey, how you doing? I'm James, and lead into hobbies and interests. That's good. But what's much better if I can go, okay, that girl is off the charts. I want to meet her at this party. So I don't know many people at this party. How do I get an intro to you? She's almost certainly a model. That rather effeminate guy could be her hairdresser or her makeup artist. She seems to know that girl very well. She's not as hot. She's pretty. I'm studying. How do I meet this model? How do I meet this model? How do I meet this model? I'm doing an analysis of the situation, and I'm not cold approaching. I'm trying to trigger. I'm trying to meet someone around her through just networking to get the girl to introduce themselves to me. That's how I've been able to. Very fortunate to meet a bunch of models. Some of them good in bars. It's not like no. I'm a alpha male pickup artist here to sweep you off your feet. It's not that at all. It's social intelligence. It's social intelligence. It's reading signals. It's subtly approaching a person beside you, or it's like particle physics. It's really, really complicated. Yeah. I'm not smart enough to be a particle physicist. That sounds egotistical. We might wrap up soon. We're going on a long time, and the algorithm might not like us. Do we have many more questions we need to answer?
A couple of questions.
Try to do justice to people who've shown up.
Just two actually. So we'll just answer these two and then we'll cap it at that. Luke asked, James, what are your thoughts on guys leaving the corporate world and living a healthy life in Thailand, Vietnam, or Bali and living on passive income? I've many corporate mates thinking this.
You and the rest of the Western world. Yeah, it's a plague. It's an absolute plague. I mean, I don't know. I mean, where I'm right now, the property values in Lombok are going like that because people are sick of Bali. The property values everywhere. I mean, the prices of Thailand property. Yeah, it's got a lot going for it. I mean, you'll get to meet much better women. You get to wake up and have dragon fruit and papaya every day. You sound pretty fortunate, Luke. But I mean, when I was in finance, I could have afforded a maid or something or a butler. But yeah, it's cost nothing to do that. Yeah, it's got a lot going for it, particularly if you set your affairs up so you're not being paid as an Australian. You can say a Dubai company or something. I don't know. If you're an employee, that might be a possibility. I think from memory, you're a pretty senior employee. There may be some smart accountant who can do that. It's got a lot going for it. But yeah, I don't want to get too far into it. But some of the crap that's happening in the world today, I mean, I'm just like, I don't know. I've read 984 and Brave New World and Atlas Shrugged. And when I was a boy, I mean, none of this stuff could have happened to us privileged white people. It's just not going to happen to us in Australia or America or England, but or Europe, but it seems to be. So, yeah, but then you go to, I mean, I don't know. I've heard some pretty troubling things about Thailand and banking. So, yeah, it's got a lot going for it. It's got a lot going for it. From memory, I'm not sure if you can go remote. You may be able to. If you tell me your occupation again, I can give you more background. From memory, is fairly impressive.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Yeah, there was one more. One more here. John asks, what if I was at a nightclub or somewhere and someone tries to take a girl I'm talking to? What do you do in that situation without getting into a fight? So you're talking.
Sorry. You go
I was just
first.
reiterating, yeah, just summarizing that. So yeah, you're talking to a woman, and in the meantime, another guy comes and tries to, yeah, get the attention of that girl. What do you do? Go ahead, James.
It doesn't work every time. I tend to kill them with kindness. There's a video on the YouTube channel called "What to Do If an Alpha Male Tries to Steal Your Girl." If you're shorter, if you're Asian, if you're not very confident, if you're skinny, if you don't look like the girl, if you don't look like a guy the girl would be interested in, there's a lot of really weak guys doing that. Unfortunately, it's a thing pickup artists do. I'm an alpha male. I went and blew that short, skinny Asian out. I know, great. I mean, it's bad karma. Yeah, I just tend to try to make a brief conversation and just have more energy and better conversation skills than, for me anyway, and for many of my clients, the girl will just gravitate back to you. But if he's more confident, if he's got more energy, if he's taller, better looking, it's an issue. So you just got to do the best you can. Energy. When a guy's got skill, if I again, it gets back to reading signals. If I can see the guy's got no skill, he's just doing pickup artist stuff, or he's just had a few drinks, I just wait for him to sort of bomb out and get back to my good conversation. But if the guy does have legitimate, this is far too advanced to teach on YouTube. But if the guy does have legitimate skill, he knows what he's doing. I will bring him into the conversation. I probably have the skills to make that work in many cases. I mean, many of the guys I've coached who we've turned into absurd studs may not. So you just got to do the best you can. So if you get into a fight with someone around your weight who also knows how to fight, it's a fight. So you've just got to win the fight, basically. But if you're watching from Australia or America or England or Canada or most parts of Western Europe, you don't need to worry about that because no guy's got any skill. So you should book a call with Tess. You should book a date with Tess and get some skill. If you're watching in Brazil or Israel, might be pretty different because they're Exocet missiles. Those Israeli guys with girls, they're frightening. And Brazilian guys aren't too far behind from a guy who's traveled to 100 countries. Tess, you want to add something?
Yeah, I think, in an ideal situation, what would happen is that you've been interacting with this woman long enough that she's already likes you, or she's invested enough that when the other guy comes, if you have the skill to do so, stay in command of that social scenario, by just not letting him take over. You might engage him, but then if you've already built good rapport with the woman, she's gonna be giving be giving you her attention, not the other guy, right? So if you've already got her hooked, she's not going to be like, oh, who's this other guy? She'll only give attention to the other guy if you haven't achieved that. And and if it's early on, you haven't achieved that because you haven't had enough time maybe to establish the hook, then it's just about being able to handle that scenario. And it's in a different, let's say, a different scenario, you're talking to a girl, hasn't been long, and her boyfriend comes out of the bathroom and comes and joins you. What do you do then? What do you do? Do you just say, oh shit, sorry dude, sorry, ooh, I didn't mean to speak to your girlfriend, I'm just gonna leave now? Or do you just keep your cool? It's not like you just spoke to the girl, you didn't know. Just speak to the guy and have a little chat and then politely leave. You can't be reactive to those things. You have to be able to handle whatever scenario comes, whether she has a boyfriend, whether her girlfriends join, whether another guy comes. Keep your cool, deal with the situation, engage that person to and stay in control, basically.
Thanks, Tess. I thought of something. I've got to remember more of the mistakes I've made with women, which are massive. How did I get to where I am today? I've made a lot of mistakes, way more than the average guy. Yeah, one time it was Fashion Week, and I was killing it just because of social intelligence, and I was with a very attractive guy, and we basically took over all the models from a bunch of male models and some of the hottest people, probably the most beautiful people I've ever seen in Australia. But there was one girl who was just off the charts. And there was a guy talking to her who's almost certainly a male model. And as soon as he left, I stole the seat, and she really liked me. And then he came back, and I obsequiously, like a pathetic wuss, as soon as he came back, I thought, oh, this is her friend or this is her boyfriend. And they gave up the seat, and he's like, okay. And I just looked at this idiot. I ended up getting up, leaving, and letting him take over the conversation, which reading signals I don't know if she was that happy about, because she really liked the questions I was asking. So yeah, I admit I felt insecure around the most beautiful people I've ever seen in Australia after Melbourne Fashion Week. So I gave up a girl who, for whatever reason, probably my conversation skills, really liked me. Remember, we had a bit in common, but I'm not going to make up what we had in common just for the story. I didn't sleep with her or anything. But yeah, I just completely screwed that up. Because I was feeling insecure about myself in the moment. So this is why having Tess and I is so valuable, because we riff off each other, if that's the right term. And we come up with a much better answer than just I would have done. I'm pretty bloody good at this, and so is Tess individually. So yeah, that's really important. So don't feel insecure if you build a good connection and you do even a fraction of stuff we teach you, let alone if you've done a date with Tess and got all your big mistakes sorted out and got some better conversation skills in the chat. My rich friends will be very impressed with me tonight. So yeah, don't feel insecure about yourself. If you connect, you win, especially if she's beautiful. And if you connect, you win. Oftentimes it's a woman's test when a girl really likes you to start paying all this attention to other guys just to see if you get the message. Hey, I really like you. Will you understand this test where I talk to the other guy who's better looking or taller or less Asian or Indian than you? That's awesome. We might wrap up soon. Questions?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Thanks for all your questions. Thanks for all your comments. Some really good stuff came out tonight. Let me just check if I've got any sessions available still. I do still have a couple of sessions. We had a couple of guys book in. Thanks, Stephen. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Yeah, looks like I've got one left for tomorrow and one left for Tuesday. So make sure you guys jump on those. I'm also unavailable in the next few coming weeks, so these might not you might not have another opportunity for a little while. We've also got our live event coming up as well, so yeah, in a couple of weeks. So if you guys if you're thinking about it, now's the time because yeah, we might not be doing this again. I might not have much availability in the next few weeks. So yeah, it's been great, guys. Thanks again for all your engagement. Thanks for the regulars. We love seeing you guys here. If you're new and you want more, please like and subscribe to our channel so we can keep delivering this content to you and giving you guys as much help as we can. We're here to help you.
I think Luke, who's one of our regulars, had a question, so we want to look after regulars. This is in terms of moving overseas.
Oh, yeah.
Are you about? I don't know. I'm not qualified to give career advice. Are you talking about retiring or continuing your job?
Living off passive income. I think it means just
retiring.
Living. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what I did when I was 31. I just lived off investment earnings and traveled for 7 years. So I'm a huge, I mean, it destroyed, I mean, I'd be very, very wealthy now if I'd stayed in finance. Probably married some toxic gold digger who took probably a string of them, the way most of the finance guys go, probably addicted to every sort of drug and lewds and cocaine and sex workers and bitterly insecure and on all these anti-depression medicines. Yeah, just whatever, Wolf of Wall Street. Hopefully have a lot more morals than him. So yeah, I'm a huge advocate of that. I don't know. I mean, it depends how much money you're making. I mean, if it's a textile company, you might have got so much shares that you're minted for life. If it was Canva or Atlassian, we've coached quite a few guys from them. I'm a huge advocate of it. I mean, it sounds very self-promoting, but yeah, book a date with Tess, man. I mean, you're 100 times more productive. I'm not saying you have great skills now. It sounds like you have a lot of success. Yeah, I mean, I can't. I mean, dude, if you've got that sort of cash, what the hell's the point of working your guts out in your 40s when you're never going to spend it anyway, and you're just going to make yourself a more desirable target to bigger gold digger? You only need so much money to live comfortably. I would be the biggest advocate of doing that you can ever imagine. It's like, yeah, what's it? Life is a book, and those who don't travel read from only one page. Yeah, I mean, everything to do with me is to do with my travels. But I did make some money first. So yeah, and yeah, I'll obviously change who you married. I don't know how much you've traveled before, so I'm sort of giving advice. Maybe not the best. But yeah, I would definitely do it, depending on your financial situation. I mean, I'm a finance background. The valuations of various stocks are insane levels now in terms of price earnings ratio, and some of the bullish stories are just like, when is this thing going to end? So yeah, I'd factor that in, what your portfolio is like. But you guys aren't here for investment advice, and I shouldn't be giving you investment advice by the sound of it, because I'm many years out of the game. John Rambo's asking to look after the regulars, try to get out of this quick. We have to go in now. No more questions. What do you mean by energy? The best way to explain that is, me good buddy Steve Irwin, you got to be really excited, to have a lot of energy and be passionate about making some cash from the TV networks and buying all this wild jungle and preserving the wildlife. You want to be really passionate about life. One of my favorite stories that went viral 18 years ago when I posted it as a blog was, I was watching an interview with I don't know, Steve Irwin was on some talk show, and Jennifer Love Hewitt was being interviewed, and the host, I can't remember who it was, goes, "Oh, so Steve, well, what did you think of Jennifer in the green room?" And he goes, "She's beautiful. She's beautiful." And then they cut immediately to Jennifer Love Hewitt's face. If 30-year-old Brad Pitt was a tantric master, I don't think he could have produced such an extreme reaction in this girl's face as Steve Irwin's energy telling her she was beautiful. This was one very, very, very happy, flattered young lady. Now, I'm not saying tell her she's beautiful, but you can learn a bit from Steve Irwin's energy. He's going up to crocodiles, mate, and he's trying to be friendly. I'm a friendly guy. I'm not going to hurt you. You should be nice to me. And poisonous snakes, he's holding him by the tail going, "You're a pretty cute little critter, aren't you?" Like, yeah, so you can learn a bit from Steve Irwin if you're a beginner. Once you get to a certain level, you probably move more to the sort of more low-key, just rely on your skills doing it. But yeah, Steve Irwin, I've said his name on boot camps thousands of times. So yeah, and book a date with Tess and whatever. And yeah, we might just leave with Steve. Big fan of Steve. Couldn't the stingray got someone else? If he's going to die, couldn't it at least have been a crocodile or a snake? Why did God take him with a stingray? I don't understand the workings of God. Why would you kill such a great man with a stingray? Couldn't you come up with some other animal that was I see stingrays all the time. I'm not thinking, oh, that thing's going to kill me when I'm diving. But yeah, it's not yeah. Crocodile, or keep him with us. He was such a great individual. And he did more for the Australian brand internationally than anyone except for Paul Hogan. So yeah, I was a big fan of Steve Irwin. Anyway, we should sign off with a bit of James BS. Oh, we did some nice comments. Before I leave, I want to say thank you. Oh shit! I want to do justice to people who show up. Tess pronouncing name correctly. Got big things. Israeli dudes. No one likes Israelis anymore. Many of my favorite people and closest friends are Jewish, so I don't judge people by what their governments do. But yeah, the Israeli dudes make the Brazilians and many of the Latinos look pretty weak when it comes to women. I've never seen guys do what Israelis do. If you're Israeli and you come to another one, I'll tell you an anecdote that would blow your mind. It ends in some ultra violence after talking to girls aggressively, but that's for another time. How do you build a strong connection with her? Please come again. Tess gave you a great summary at the beginning. And Ashkay says, thank you, James and Tess. Luke says, leaving corporate. If you ask that about next time, I really want to keep these on time to keep YouTube happy. And much more importantly, to keep this fine woman, genius dating coach happy. Anyway, guys, we'll see you next time. Keep smiling and bye for now, like some Australian game show from when I was a boy, which is a long, long, long time ago. See you guys.
See you. Bye-bye.